crazy, bro. Like, I was just with my other homie, and we
so
almost
wild.
did the same thing, but we didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And hey, you just came along, bro. So yeah, I'll show you what's good.
Let's go.
I'll show you what's up, man.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out, dog. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Cannot wait. Thank you, sir. Some good old-fashioned Stellas.
Stella Artois.
Stella Artois.
Is that how you say it?
I mean, yeah. I think so. I can't say yes or no. That's how I've always said it.
This was like the first beer where I was like, yeah, this is my favorite beer. Like when I was
really?
like 21, I was
With
like,
Stellas?
yeah, Stella. Like, yeah,
'Cause
this
it's
is my
easy to
favorite beer.
drink?
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, Stella's. Yeah, I love that shit, bro.
Stella's
I'll drink that shit all day.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I think a Stella was the first. Cheers. Was the first drink I ever had at an event.
Mm.
Can't remember what, if it was a concert or show or something or other, but it was the first thing that I had went to where I was 21 and I could order a drink at the bar before enjoying the entertainment, and I got a Stella.
Nice.
Yeah, it came in a glass, didn't have any ice,
Mm-hmm.
which was a good thing, I guess. But
Yeah, you don't want ice in your beer.
then it was like warm.
Yeah, so they just didn't have it chilled at all.
No, it was a
like,
bummer. They just poured it
damn.
straight into this thing.
that
Hi,
sucks.
how's it going? Yeah, it was.
Little shouts out from Mama over there.
Shouts out to Mama Madrona.
Shouts out.
Yeah, dude, I was. It was a double-edged experience because I was
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, this is cool," and then like about 5 minutes in, I was like, this is not good.
It's not good.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
no
man.
warm beer is good, dude.
Yeah,
like,
never. Doesn't matter how good the
Mhm.
beer is. If it's
Mhm.
warm, it's bad.
Yeah, no, yeah. I for sure when I first started drinking beer, I was not down for like IPAs or anything like that. Not that I am like.
Yeah, I'm still not.
I'm
yeah.
still not really down,
Yeah.
but there's an occasional like hazy IPA that'll get me.
That's
like
yeah.
The Dust Bowl has one. It's called I think it's like Peace, Love, and Hazy or something like that.
Nice.
And that one's really good. I like that. I like that one a lot. I can drink that pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, I can't say that I hate every single one I've ever tried. There are some here and there that are fine, but like beer already just messes up my gut. And IPAs are like so much heavier, so it's like feels like I'm eating food.
Dude,
when I
people that can
them.
drink double IPAs are crazy.
Well, and then you even go crazier to like people who drink like Guinness and like those
Stouts
like,
and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, like Irish beers and Scottish beers and stuff, where it's literally like filling your stomach just with beer. Like that
yeah,
shit's
I had
crazy.
a Guinness one time. I think my friend Tyler, shout out to Tyler. He I don't know why he had a Guinness.
You just had one on deck?
He had one at his house, and he's like, "Hey, you want to try this?" And I was just like, "Sure."
Yeah, how you
And
gonna
I
say no?
tried it, and it was just like it's just super heavy.
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just wasn't down
It's
for
a
it.
lot, yeah. I'm more of a light beer guy
Mhm.
in general.
Yeah.
Like
I like a good Mexican lager.
Yeah, like that's the classic. Like give me a
Mm-hmm.
Modelo any day of the week.
Modelo,
Yeah.
a Pacifico.
Pacificos are my favorite, but
Mhm.
most of the time people just have
A Corona's good too.
Modelo.
Like
Coronas
Corona
are
with some
good.
lime, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that gets down.
Coronas are good. I'll be honest with you, like I don't know if I'm not an expert beer person by any means. And we all hopefully at this point, if you guys pay
Can
attention,
tell. you
Well,
can tell
yeah.
we're not beer people.
No, yeah, but also too, I am very, very bad when it comes to all of my senses in general. Taste being one of them. I don't have a distinguished palate, we'll say. But like Modelo's and Corona just are pretty similar to me. I'm not gonna lie. I
No,
feel
yeah,
like it's
I
more
mean-
of a brand thing of just like, I don't know. It's like maybe Modelo's are just like more down or something. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. I mean, I feel that. I feel like they can generally tend to probably be a little similar. I'm also not. I don't have like the most distinguished palate either, so I'm not gonna like.
I can't tell you the different notes.
Like,
of
have you seen
this
those
or
that challenge on Instagram where someone gets like a box,
Mm-hmm.
they put 3 drinks in there, they cut holes and they put straws, and someone tries to like drink and
Oh, that's
try to
fun.
differentiate between like,
Yeah.
oh, this is Coke, this is Pepsi. I mean, I can tell the difference between a Coke and a Pepsi for sure.
I think I could do sodas, but that's also like vastly different
Mhm.
flavors for the most part. Well, I guess like Coke to Pepsi to like RC or like, the off brands,
Yeah.
then that's a little different. That's probably tougher.
But yeah, if you're going from like Modelo to Corona to another,
Even like a
light beer.
Pacifico too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pacifico, I can tell if it's a
If it's
Pacifico.
a Pacifico?
For sure.
We're going to have to
100%.
test it. We're going to have to do it
100%.
one time.
Dude, I did I think in not elementary school, in middle school, I
Uh-huh.
did a like science project on that shit.
Nice.
Like blindfolding people and then feeding them like different flavors of ice
Uh-huh.
cream and seeing if they could tell.
What the differences were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I did on it, but I think I did pretty good for like 6th grade or 7th grade.
I used to do those are final projects and like term projects, literally from when I was a small child up until my senior year of high school, were literally my saving grace. Because, as I'm sure I've talked about before, after like 5th or 6th grade, like once I got to middle school, I became a pretty bad student.
Just a degenerate.
I really kind of did. You know what it was like, and I feel like you hear people talk about this all the time because like I don't know, I grew up in a theater and stuff, so like I more often than not tend to try to be kind of performy and show offy and stuff like that, especially in like social settings as a young kid and stuff, right? But like as soon as and I'm sure you remember this feeling too, but like as soon as you get your first laugh out of the class, you're like,
oh wow,
what is this?
Like,
how do I get more of this?
Yeah.
How do I do this all the time? Yeah, it's like
I'm still like that.
You're
bro,
like,
honestly.
I have the power now. Like it's just like intense. Like it takes over, bro. You want to make people laugh. You want to make people feel good. Blah blah blah, whatever. So that was very much me. But the other side of that was that my presentation and performing skills were. That's what I was
far
focusing
exceeded
on.
Your peers.
Yeah, so when it got to those final projects where you had to stand up in front of your teachers or your classmates and tell them what's what about a science project that I probably half-assed, got extra points for those fucking performances and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah,
there you go.
I remember in high school there was at Anzar there was like these little fucking tassels that you got for like a 4.0 grade average, or like valedictorians had like a special colored one, right? And they're like these things that all of the smart kids got, and they also gave them out if you got like good scores on what they called like exhibitions. I think I've explained them before.
Exhibitions.
Okay, I'm gonna start explaining them, and if you remember them, cut me off because there's no need to explain it again. But basically, at Anzar, your junior and senior year, you have to put together. You can combine certain subjects like math and science and then English and history, but you have to put together a presentation project that goes with a long paper as well that is covering a subject of your choice.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you ever said it was an exhibition.
That's what they call them.
Because that's crazy.
Yeah,
It sounds like you're getting ready to fucking battle somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to fight.
Exhibition time, bro.
We got one good grade to give out, and guess what? There's 2 of you who are going to fail this class. So you guys are going to fight to the death.
Like super intense and shit, yeah. But yeah, so they gave them out for really good scores on exhibitions as well. So I remember just like loving the feeling of like walking down the aisle having the same tassel as the smart kids, just like, what's up? I got one too, bitches.
Just chest puffed out.
How you doing? Did I earn this? Not really, but whatever. I got one.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was good shit. But yeah, class clown bullshit. You know, you get good at performing when you're trying to make kids laugh all the time in school.
You.
It's not a good way to go. You should study in school.
Yeah, I think it was more. I never really like tried to be like a class clown or whatever. Like in school, like I was always like pretty good at school, and like so it was always like pretty decent.
That's good. You played sports too, so I feel like you kind of had to be, right?
Yeah, for sure. But like senior year of high school, I did not give a fuck. Dude.
Everybody has it.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I feel like senior year, for the most part, everybody likes to chill.
Dude, yeah. And it was tough, dude. I had like a free period with Efren and shit like that. So we'd always just like, ironically, we'd always go to the movies like after.
Hell yeah.
Because I used to work at the movies in high school, and during like the school year, they wouldn't open till 1:00 because it's like, you know, your main attraction is like a younger audience, right, at the movies. So they're in school.
Who's gonna buy you goddamn tickets?
But it was perfect because I got out of school on one of those days at like 12:30.
Oh, perfect.
So I would just call them, hey, what's up? Can me and the homie go see this movie? And like 99% of the time we'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, go ahead. And so like we would go and just get really stoned and watch those movies. That's and dope. I watched a cool amount of movies at least. I know we watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie. That one's
super good.
That
so I watched that in theaters and was like, damn, this shit's awesome.
Yeah, that movie's sick.
What else did I watch? I'm pretty sure I watched Sicario for free.
Nice. That's a great movie.
Everest.
Oh, I don't think. Actually, maybe I did see that.
What else did I see? I'm pretty sure I saw like I don't know. I saw a good amount of movies.
I'm sure, yeah.
I saw Southpaw like the night before it was like released or whatever.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that before.
Because they
you guys would get early screenings for stuff sometimes, right?
Yeah. So how the studios would send it. from what I remember correctly, and this could be completely wrong, I could have just misheard this, but they send it on like a little USB drive and they call it a key.
Oh yeah.
And there's a certain time in which that key unlocks so you can access the movie or whatever.
Yeah. I remember you told me this.
A lot of movies would unlock at like midnight or whatever the night before. So they would just whoever was the closing manager, like if it was like a big movie, like I for sure saw one of the Avengers like before it came out. Dope. I saw that movie Southpaw, and we just go in at like midnight when no one else is in the theater, and you just watch it, and that shit was pretty. That's cool. That shit was pretty fucking dope.
That's classic. There was like something fun about the old, because nowadays I get why they do it. It's more often than not, as most things are, it's probably for sales. But like, I do kind of miss the like camping out and waiting in line.
Oh yeah.
And then also waiting until midnight so that like you're watching the movie at the turn of the new day rather than like don't get me wrong, it's 1,000 times more convenient and better for me as, an adult now who probably has to go to work the next day. Yeah. That I can go watch it at like 7:00 the night before, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But there's something like some of the pizzazz is gone. Like it was
the nostalgia.
Yeah, just being out there, just waiting, bro. Like I remembered like waiting for Star Wars when I was a kid, like Dark Knight, like I think the first Iron Man 2, like all those movies, like at Premiere Cinemas and stuff. It was just special memories.
Yeah, I remember waiting in line for one of the Paranormal Activity movies. I think it was like 3 or 4. And also I think, because when did Civil War come out?
2016, I think.
Okay, yeah. So then I for sure waited in line for Civil War. Yeah, 100%.
One worth waiting in line for. Yeah, because I feel like it was right after that it became common, like late 2010s.
Yeah,
like everywhere, not everywhere. Sorry, bigger cities I think had started to do it by that time, but like even Hollister, Hollister, and like Gilroy and all of them started doing it earlier the day before. I mean, sorry.
There's a lot of those things that are gone, like even like camping out for video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you just preload now. You just download it before, and then same thing like a key, right? It just unlocks at a certain time.
Oh, you can download this game a week early.
Yeah,
but you can't play it until like 9:00 the day before.
Yeah,
which is fine. Yeah, like
again, it's a convenience thing, right? It's like, and I guess it helps a little bit on the. I mean, it helps all around, but I mean, the download thing's cool too, because like I have pretty slow internet sometimes, so I love the pre-download because like I can start it a couple days before, because before pre-download was a thing and like it was still 9:00. I was still not playing the game until the next day. Yeah, because it would take all night to download, even though it unlocked at like 9:00 or whatever. Yeah,
shout out to the guy whoever came up with the pre-download idea.
Yeah, pretty smart, man.
I bet you they were in the meeting. He's like, hey, what if we just let them download the game like a couple days early?
Just probably lock it.
A bunch of people were like, that's stupid, dude.
What are you talking about?
The fuck are you
and
talking
this one guy's
about?
like, no, let him talk.
Let him talk.
Keep going, son. Keep going, son.
Let him speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Silence.
The one thing I will say is like when I'll do it, and sometimes it'll download quickly, like either it's a smaller game or like my internet's just being my friend that day. But like it is then torture afterwards, because I'm like, you know me, I'm a fiend for games. Like literally before the podcast started, I was talking about how hard I'm going to play this new one tomorrow.
Fuck, what's it called again? I have such a bad memory.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah, bro, it's epic. But yeah, like I'm such a fiend that it is like torturous for me. I remember this happened for me with Spider-Man. It was done downloading like 2 days before the game came out, and like it was just sitting there on my fucking PlayStation, and I technically had the game,
just mocking you,
but I couldn't do anything about it. Just had to listen to that fucking cool little theme song they play on the PlayStation home screen. Yeah, it's crazy. The anticipation is intense.
Yeah. But what is going on, everybody? If you've listened to this far in the podcast and you haven't tuned off yet,
we must be doing something right.
And if this is your first time and you're wondering, like, who the fuck are these guys?
They haven't even introduced themselves yet.
Yeah. This is Too High for TV, where two guys get too high and talk about a little bit too much TV. Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan.
I'm your other host, Daniel.
And this is episode number 94.
Dang.
We're creeping up. We're creeping up on the century mark.
We are one episode away from being halfway towards the numbers that are 90 and 100.
I don't know if that's actually...
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
You
guys know what I mean.
I was catching your drift.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
I was catching it. But yeah, guys, again, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. And if you're curious about what we do, if you can't get it by the name, Yeah, we sit here. We're two guys, and we get a little bit high, and we drink a little bit. We drink a little bit of alcohol.
And we just talk.
Yeah, we get a little bit inebriated, and we talk. We talk about movies. We talk about TV. Today we're talking about music.
Yes.
We also talk about video games. We've talked about sports. We've we touch on it a little.
Talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, we touch on it all for sure.
Yeah. We like variation. Yeah,
exactly.
We like to change it up every once in a while.
If you're a long-time listener, thank you for tuning in once again.
The homies.
Exactly. I hope you guys have been enjoying the clips that have been getting posted every day. Yeah, they're good. They're good. You like them?
They're funny, bro. They're good. Yeah. It just has like the vibe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I go on there and I'm like, oh, this looks legit, bro. Like it's got the text underneath. It's like it's zoomed in on whichever one of us is talking. It looks good, bro.
Shout out to CapCut Pro, dude.
CapCut's sick, bro.
CapCut's really sick because I basically just edit it down on the laptop on like Premiere Pro, and I find like a good like
30 seconds,
15 minute. I would say 15 to like a minute, right? Go, 15 to a minute, like a nice like wide range. And I sit there and I listen, and then I just fucking try to like cut things up. And then I export it, and then I send it to my phone. And on my phone, I just do CapCut, and that's where I like, boom, it generates all the captions for like, this is not a paid advertisement for CapCut Pro. This is just how fucking good it is, right? And you just click AI generate captions. It generates them for you in like 40 seconds. Yeah. And you can go in and just edit things. So there are times where like, I think when I did one of the first ones, when you were talking about like the music and stuff like that, and you said Debbie, like it thought it said Debbie.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to change it.
Yeah. But it gets pretty close. Like the times I've used it, I've only had to edit like a couple of words every time here. And there. Like for a fucking minute long clip, that's pretty solid.
Pretty fucking solid. Yeah. I would do it on Premiere Pro, but it just takes too long. Like it takes like a solid like 30 minutes. And I just like, why am I going to wait 30 minutes when I could export it to something that's going to take 40 seconds and it's going to be right there, and I could, it does everything for me, I
feel like CapCut is also just like designed with that type of content in mind as well, versus like Premiere Pro is like people use that to cut together their like long movies and shit like that. You know? It's like old school editor oriented.
And I like doing that shit.
But it is nice. All the tools are there like for social media, I think, and it just like makes it so easy to get that shit out there.
No, the reason I like found it out because I was scrolling through the YouTube Reels as I do probably daily. And have you seen those videos where it's like a splice cut of and like a Joe Rogan interview, and then there's like fucking GTA like on
just
the bottom?
Like them driving through the crazy online shit that they have going on.
So this video was like, oh, this is what I do fucking in my day in the life of like a content creator, right? And he's like, I get up and I go to YouTube, I screen record a section of a podcast, I screen record a section of GTA, someone driving in a car in GTA. I put it into CapCut, I put them together.
That's it.
And that's it. And I was like, damn, I was like, that's that easy? Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
It's like on CapCut. And it's literally that easy.
You can literally do all of that on your phone. Like, you don't even need a laptop or anything like that.
Yeah, with the past few ones, with like all the pictures, you literally like, I just go on Google, find a picture, freaking put it into CapCut, and then you can just like look up an animation like, oh, like fucking cross fade or shit like that, and you're like, shimmer. You're like, oh, that looks fancy, and then you just put it, and you're like, okay, cool, I like it.
Some of them are funny, dude. One thing that I saw that like my Theo was telling me about, because he's an editor as well. He was saying that, and I don't know if you've run into this or not yet, but I guess one of the ways that they get you is you can actually use all of the pro stuff in your videos. And then where they get you is they don't let you export your stuff. And I was like, ooh, that's tricky.
That's where they get you.
That sucks. Yeah. But that's cool though, because then I feel like that's incentive, and like it's not that bad, right? Like
it's like $10 a month or something.
That's not that crazy, I don't think.
You could do like a yearly one too, where it's like $90.
You
like
save like a little bit, for sure. Yeah. So,
but I mean, again, it's worth it. Like if you're doing stuff like that, like it's very worth it. And
especially if you're gonna be using it.
It's been worth it for me. Like it's again like trying to grow and elevate the podcast. It's something that's necessary, and so I've just been trying to get on myself to do it more, and just with CapCut it's made it like so much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
And just trying to get on, just post something every fucking day, whether it's shit that we talk, like insightful shit that we talk about, if we're ever insightful,
never
never or if it's just funny shit, just to post it on Instagram, post it on freaking YouTube, all that shit. And we've definitely gained some followers from that.
Good. Hell yeah.
They're all definitely middle-aged white males, which hey, We're infiltrating the middle-aged white
That's
America
right.
populace.
We're gonna
and
slowly brainwash
I'm down.
them. We're gonna,
that's
we're gonna,
where you start, dude.
We're gonna subconsciously start planting messages in their heads to make them be less crazy.
Subliminal messages.
Subliminal messages, man.
But yeah, that shit's been fun. It's been good for me too, because it gets me in like a routine of like, okay, I wake up, edit down a clip, do it on my phone, cool, and then been trying to read a little bit too. Been fucking went to Barnes and Noble the other day.
And Nobles. What have you been reading? What did you buy?
So I initially wasn't gonna go to Barnes and Noble, right? My initial plan was I went to Gilroy because I needed a new hard drive because we already burned through that other 2 terabyte hard drive. Yeah.
Crazy.
So I was like, all right, I got to get another one. I was gonna get the 5 terabyte one. That one's definitely like $180, and I was like, all right, that's kind of sketch. That's kind of sketch. Yeah. So I was like, another 2 terabyte one is gonna be good. That'll last us like a few months.
Should get us another 100 episodes, right?
No, that'll probably get us
like
that'll probably get us like, because I think on that hard drive I have episode like I think 70 to 93.
So it's like 20 then.
Yeah, 25. It's around 20. But I do like I keep the episodes on there. I keep files on there. I keep all the clips and stuff on there just so they're there. I should get like I should get like I need to get like a bigger hard drive just to keep more shit in as like another space to have it just in case I don't know I lose one or something like that. But anyways, plan was go to Best Buy, get another hard drive. Went to Best Buy, found a hard drive. Stopped by the Apple accessories, saw the AirPod Pros, the 2nd generation were on sale. Got some of those because my other AirPods, the right one, was getting really It was super rattly. So if I listen to stuff that had heavy bass, which is pretty much all the music that I listen to, sounds like a 2002 Honda Civic. Yeah, that's right. Nice. Yeah. So I was like, hey, that's cool. They're $60 cheaper than they normally would be. Normally they're like $250. Today they're $190.
Take advantage.
I feel good about that. Yeah. Got those.
Nice.
Went to Target. Wanted to get a candle. Got a candle.
Cool.
Was driving back from Target. Saw Barnes and Noble to the left. I said, I wonder if they have the Dune books.
Yeah.
Went to Barnes and Noble. Put my headphones in, started listening to Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. That's when I was texting him. I was like, damn, this shit's trippy. Found the Dune book. So I got the first Dune. I got Dune Messiah.
Cool.
And then I was just looking around the fiction section. Saw the 75th year or something anniversary of 1984.
Oh, that's a great book.
Got that book. Never have read that book ever in my life.
Oh, that's a great book.
I've never read that book in my life. Probably should have in high school, but I don't think I ever got assigned that book. And I was very anti-read in high school. And another reason why I wanted to go and get those books like in the split second where I was like, oh, Barnes & Noble, is because I remember having this conversation with Efren. And if you're a longtime listener of the podcast, Efren's been a guest on here before.
You know who he is.
But I remember having a conversation with him because I think he and I were very similar in high school, where he definitely likes to read way more than I do. But when it comes to assigned reading for school, we were both not down. Yeah. And we were having this conversation of like our senior year, like high school teacher had us reading Crime and Punishment, right? And he's like, dude, that fool was trying to put us on. Like Crime and Punishment's a crazy book. And I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, you're right. Like I never really put in perspective like that. It was always just like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, schoolwork. You didn't want to do it.
But, as I've been getting older and appreciating different art styles, right, when it comes to movies, TV, music, games, things like that, I was like, reading and writing is another creative style, like a creative art style that I have not, like, even really dipped my left pinky toe into. So I was like, let's fucking do it, right? So, yeah, I went to Barnes & Noble, got the first 2 Dune books, got 1984, been reading 1984. Happy to tell you I'm enjoying 1984.
Yeah, it's a good book, man. Yeah, it's really good.
It's pretty trippy.
Oh, 100%.
Fucking Big Brother's always watching, man. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
That's all I know for right now. I haven't gotten that far into the book.
That's pretty much, I mean, obviously it expands on that, but that's basically what the whole goddamn thing is about. Yeah.
I was tripping. I was like, damn, this fool wrote this shit in like I
think like 60 something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, by 1984.
Yeah, he was on the ball.
London is going to be fucked up.
He wasn't wrong.
The whole world is going to be fucked up.
Might have been off by 20 years or so, but...
Like 40.
Yeah, more or less, yeah. But that's pretty much where we are now. Yeah. I could do this thing where, like, I don't count the years. When I'm, like, comparing, like, things from before 2000, 2000 is the cutoff. Yeah. So I forget that 24 years have passed in the 2000s at this point now. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, it's 20 years ago. Yeah. But it's like, oh, no, shit. You're right, 40 years ago now. Yeah.
I was seeing something that it was like, what was it? Fucking like I I forget what era of movies is like. I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to fucking explain it because I don't remember, and it's just gonna come out terrible. So
Rewind.
erase. But fuck. Oh no, it was like
Here comes.
so. Think about we're in 2024, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we go back and watch movies in the 2000, like from like 2000, that's the same thing as people in the year 2000 watching movies from the fucking 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, wow.
Wow, how did that happen? Wow. Yeah. No, yeah, we're 24. Oh, I was going to say 25. 24 years into this decade. We're a quarter into this century already.
Damn.
Isn't that weird?
Wait, what was the first one you said?
25 years into the century.
Okay.
A quarter into the century. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's only 3 more of these before it's the year 2100.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to be alive for sure.
Super dead. But
for
for sure. I will definitely be super dead. Yeah. I'm not going to make it that long.
Or who knows? What if we can like prolong our life by then, you know, like before? Like, I mean, we can prolong our life.
I've heard that long-term studies being done have shown that like the human life expectancy is getting longer over time, but it's not by like huge vast amounts. It's like a couple years or something like that in the last like 100 years of living.
No, I'm talking about like being 150 years and still like feeling like you're 40, you know.
That would be cool. I would be down for that, but I don't know how it's possible.
Yeah, I can never like whenever I think of that, I always think of like fucking I forget who I'm thinking of, but just like stories of people, or like just like vampires, right? Vampires fucking live forever, right? Yeah. And they just live for fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And they just see people die, and they freaking, and it's just like, fuck, I don't want to be like that.
No,
you know?
Immortality sounds awful, honestly. Like if nobody else around you that you know and love is also immortal, like that is a lot of trauma to live through.
Yeah.
And then you probably you either go through that over and over and over again in cycles through your life of like learning to love people again and then eventually losing them to the tides of time. Or you just become a fucking hermit and you live alone because you don't want to deal with it. Both sound terrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with either.
No.
Yeah, I'll kick the bucket when I'm like, I think it would be cool to be 100, but I have no expectations of actually making it that far.
To 100, yeah.
I think
it's like, what are you even doing when you're 100?
I mean, it depends.
You're just there.
It just depends because I think there are some... Like, I won't say 100, but there are people who are like in their higher 80s or like even 90s who surprise me. Like, they certainly seem a lot more active than I would expect at that age. So you never know. But I am not one of those people. I have not done the prerequisite work to be that healthy when I'm that old. So yeah, I don't know. I think I got till I'm about 70. If I'm lucky.
That's funny. I've not done the prerequisite work.
I haven't. It's too far gone at this point, I think. I don't know.
Dude,
never say never.
I was wearing this hat the other day, and I almost got Nick to believe I was from Alaska, right? Because it says like Alaska pond hockey or whatever. Shout out to the Instagram ads. They fucking got me, and I'm not afraid to say that they did.
Oh no, they get me all the time, dude.
But he was like, Alaska pond hockey. He's like, what do you know about that? I was just like, what do you mean? Like, I'm from Alaska, bro. Like, I was born there. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, dude. I was there till I was like 5 years old, and that's when I came over here. And he like looks at me, he's like, nah, you're fucking around, bro. He's like, I remember hearing your stories growing up here and fucking blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, I almost got you.
Should have doubled down. You'd be like, yeah, bro, I moved here when I was 5. I still grew up here.
Yeah, I still grew up.
Yeah.
Nah, sometimes I just like, when shit like that happens, I just smile and I'm just like, fuck, I can't contain it.
You got me. Yeah.
Oh, look at this thing, dude. This is like a fucking little...
Ooh, diorama.
It's like a rolling tray.
That's
you can use
cool.
it as a rolling tray.
Fuck
I'm actually going to use this.
That's actually smart. That's just the box that it came in?
Yeah, this is like a CBX, like
offshoot.
Yeah. Aerobloom. Yeah, so it's like... So basically what it is... Oh, they have like... I forgot. They have a fucking thing on here that I can read.
You have a little factual statement.
At Aerobloom, we have made it our mission to cultivate unique and highly distinctive cannabis strains that have been beloved by smokers for several generations. For us... These legacy flavors are the ones we smoked when we first got high with our best friends and had those classic bouts of joyous laughter and utter silliness, followed by seemingly never-ending munchies. These moments sparked a passionate love affair with the plant, which continues to fuel our fire today with these genetics.
I like it. Honest. Not bad.
Hey, if any company wants to sponsor us, I can do a pretty fire ad read. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
We've shown that multiple times.
Not gonna
He's
fucking
got
lie.
you down on a bunch of different, and he'll provide one-liners too,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Zingers.
Zingers. That smells good. What is it?
It's Super Silver Haze.
Nice.
Because,
Very
dude,
nice.
the CBX Super Silver Haze is so fucking good, bro.
I feel like most of the CBX, all of the CBX strains that I have ever tried have never disappointed me.
Nah, dude.
This,
And I mean, I'm not like the biggest sativa guy. I've definitely been diving more into the sativa world as I've been trying to be a more productive human being in this here life,
stoner.
right?
Uh-huh.
And their Super Silver Haze has always been one that I've just always loved. It's just different from a lot of sativas. I feel like a lot of sativas nowadays have like a citrusy, lemony, piney sort of smell.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is cool, I guess. Like if you like that, you like that. That is what it is. But
That is my favorite. But there's something different about the old gassy ass.
oh, this
sativas.
shit's cheesy, bro.
Oh, you like
this
the
shit's not
cheese.
dude, I
Okay.
love the cheese. It's such
Okay.
a fucking
No, cheese is good. A little bit of stank is nice.
It's such a unique like flavor profile and like smell nowadays. Like nowadays you're so used to like the sherbets and the cookies and the gelatos and all of these that are like that are good in their own right. You know,
yeah, they're
like,
not bad.
but
I think it's just the market now. Is that people want, if they're gonna go for very potent smelling stuff, it's easier to sell, especially newer smokers, on something that smells sweet, or like a gas is another popular one or whatever, right? Like
that's true.
you're not gonna like I don't know. Because I remember just whenever I was like bud tending and stuff too, people would ask about cheesy stuff, and it was always the same type of head of like. Man, you guys don't know nothing about the cheese.
Dude.
And it's like...
You're like, I don't.
Yeah, I really don't. It's not here anymore, bro. I can't find it, dude. Yeah.
No, yeah, the cheesy stuff is always good. The red Congolese I had last episode, that shit was hella cheesy.
Is that an Ember Valley one?
No, that one's a up north one.
Oh, up north.
Yeah,
Okay,
we've been getting up north recently.
Yeah, up north is good too.
And yeah, they
I've
have
also never been disappointed by them either.
No, dude, no.
Nope.
I went
not
to
a single time.
I went to a weed event in Santa Cruz, that one that I went to a few months ago.
Yeah.
And Up North was there, and I had their NF1 and like their vaporizer.
Oh, yeah, that one was good. Yeah.
That shit was crazy. That shit was fucking hella crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually for a little bit. I would say the last, excluding the last year of my life, because this last year I have like switched to sativas pretty much exclusively when it comes to what I buy for myself. But yeah, before that, it was a lot of hybrids, a lot of indicas, and actually a lot of splits, like 1-to-1s or 4-to-1s even.
Okay.
Especially like on cartridges and stuff. You don't find it as much of flower, honestly.
No, you don't.
But yeah, that was because like I was having a lot. I just had way too much freakouts and like anxious bouts when I was like smoking basically anything for like those last few years. But I've kind of come off of that a little bit in the last year. I've gotten better at like handling that on my own before I introduce, an outside substance to try and help me with it. So I did, the last year or so, pretty much all switched to sativa. That's when I started smoking, because I think I've said this before, but like my dad was very chill about smoking when I was a kid. And so, not a kid, but, when I was younger than I am now.
Well, my dad was having me smoke when I was 4 years old.
4 years old, putting it in my baby bottle. But yeah, so it was, but he's a sativa head as well. So that's what I started smoking, that was my introduction to weed, was like Jacks and Silver Hazes, and Gorilla Glue was another big one too. That's more of a hybrid, but that's because that's my grandpa's favorite. But I came back around to them just because I realized that like most of the time when I get high, I want to like up the just like, I guess, enjoyment factor, or just like wow factor of whatever it is I'm doing, right? Like I want to smoke before I go to the movies. Like I want to smoke before I play games or whatever, right? Like it's usually when I'm about to like quote unquote experience something. And yeah, for a long time, those like last few years, like I was just getting fucking tired and like checked the fuck out. Like I couldn't play games for longer than like 30 minutes because I was like getting sleepy, like trying to play and stuff like that. Like I would be like super groggy in movies. Like I fell asleep in a few movies that I think we've been to before. I fell asleep. Do you remember when we went to go see the Batman the second time?
Yes.
before we did the podcast episode on it. I fell asleep during that watch.
Damn, let me know.
Yeah,
I didn't
for
even
sure
know.
crashed out during that one, definitely. But yeah, it just is too heavy sometimes.
No, yeah, I feel it. I have since for sure have been feeling myself do a switch up
Yeah.
to more sativa leading things.
Just keeps you like active with whatever you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
you still feel that like nice buzz of like a high, but it's not like stony.
Now
like-
I tend to find myself getting like more anxious when I smoke an indica, and I'm just there, just like fuck. I just want to fuck.
You know what's crazy? That happens to me too, and I thought, okay, that's good to hear, because maybe it is just a flip of like now I'm used to sativa, so like indica hits me that way. But my sister still really likes to smoke indica.
I think it's more so the anxiousness of like I'm sitting there and I'm like
You're stuck.
I'm like fuck. I'm not doing anything,
Yeah.
bro. I'm just here and fuck, but I don't want to do.
That's what
anything.
your
So
body
it's like-
wants, though.
so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the conflict of my body.
Yeah.
My body telling me no, or my mind was telling me no, but my body was telling me yes.
My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yes.
That's literally what it is, bro. Like in my head, I'm like, fuck, I can't just be sitting here. And my body's like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You're already doing it, man.
Yeah.
You just stay right here and you're all
Just
good,
chill,
man.
brother. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. No, that's funny.
Let's see. Let's read about some super silver haze really quick. Look at
Yeah.
us incorporating cannabis into our podcast, not just by name,
No.
not just by actually smoking, but by
We're doing the work.
by education.
We're doing the work.
So super silver haze. This I have to hold this at like a weird angle because
I know. I can see it.
it's like it's reflective,
glaring.
and this is just not the greatest light to read this in. But
Do you want some light?
no.
Is it
no,
gonna
no.
help or make it worse?
It's this is fine. This is
Okay,
fine.
okay.
People are just gonna have to deal with me fucking doing this for right
He
now.
has glasses. Don't judge.
I have glasses. But yeah, super silver haze passed down by old friends. Cannabis folklore has it that this particular pheno of haze originated from the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, aka the hippie mafia, during the 1970s in Santa Cruz.
Nice.
Loved and protected by our team for decades, this old school Amsterdam sativa is one of the first strains we ever grew. She displays light lime green buds with dark orange pistils and has totally distinct smell of cheese, earth, and spice. Definitely. Like we're on Arrakis. That provides an uplifting buzz and strong euphoric effects. I can vouch for all of those
Nice.
things.
Yeah. Sounds
That's
pretty
crazy.
accurate.
It's very rare that I feel like a company does that. Like really paints the picture
Properly.
properly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's often times where it's like, yeah, it's supposed to smell
Just trying to
creamy
sell
and
you.
this, and you're like, fuck, dude, this shit smells like dirt, bro.
Yeah.
Shit does not smell good at all.
I mean, it is the unfortunate thing of, I think, basically any industry, which is it's probably going to be better and a little bit more honest the more you're paying for it.
Yeah.
If you're getting cheap stuff that's produced by the masses, it's probably going to have a phony tagline
Yeah.
on it.
Dude, have you ever watched Loiter Squad?
No, I haven't. That's like the Tyler Creator
Yeah.
and all them, right? Odd Future shit.
Yeah. Dude, you have to watch some clips of it, dude. It's so
Okay.
funny. Like, I never really watched full episodes, but I would see the clips all the time, and fuck, dude, they're so hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I've seen their humor before, but separately. I've never seen the actual Loiter Squad stuff.
It's freaking hilarious, dude. Like, there's they do a skit where they're making fun of Beyond Scared Straight. Like, you ever watch
Oh.
Beyond Scared Straight?
I know what Scared Straight is. I've never seen that
So
before.
Beyond Scared Straight is like they send, like, these kids are so bad, right? They're stealing. They're talking back to their mom and dad.
Yeah.
They're not doing what they're supposed to be told.
Yeah.
So the parents are fed up, and they're like, you know what? We're going to send you to this fucking jail program, and so you're going to see what fucking jail looks
Oh,
like. So if you don't
okay.
straighten out, you can see this is where you're fucking going.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, damn, this kid's just fucking talking back. Like,
That's a little too far.
maybe you just need to fucking get a fucking backbone and be a parent, right?
Yeah.
And just not let your kid talk back
Yeah,
to you.
seriously.
But other times it is pretty crazy where like kids are like 16, 15, 16, like doing drugs, stealing stuff. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe you need to see this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, in Loiter Squad, they're making fun of it. And Earl Sweatshirt is in there and he's pretending to be like one of the inmates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to this one girl, he goes, "What you in here for?" And she was like, "I was caught sucking my daddy's dick." And then he goes, "I was sucking my daddy's dick when I was 7 years old."
That ain't shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
And there was one, he's like, "You know what I was doing at 13? He's all out of Fortune 500 company." And shit like that. Dude,
Fucking talking
that
shit.
shit's funny. And then Tyler, the Creator, has one where it's like I forget what he's like making fun of, but he's making fun of like reality show shit, right? And so they're all dressed up as girls or whatever. And it's like his birthday. And his homie Taco comes up, and they're like, "Oh, it's your birthday," and he gives him a birthday present, and he's like, "What is this?" And she's all, "Oh, it's a birthday present." And he's like, "You really just came to my birthday party on my birthday and gave me a birthday present on my birthday for my birthday party?"
Yeah, I know that. That got like memed a bunch, right?
Dude, I love that one.
Yeah.
That shit's so funny, dude.
What's his name? Taco?
Yeah.
He's is he the guy who's on Dave? His producer friend? Or am I thinking of a different association? The guy who makes his beats for him.
I think that might be Taco. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Taco.
Okay.
Who's the homie that I'm fucking thinking about?
Because I know Tyler the Creator, and then through my sister I know Earl Sweatshirt too. But then I feel like he's the one I've seen the least of.
Earl Sweatshirt?
Yeah. No. Taco. Because he was part of like their trio, right?
Yeah.
It's the three of them? Or no, is it the other two who do most of it?
I mean, let me see. Future. Who am I thinking of? Yeah, Taco's the one that's in freaking...
In Dave, right? Yeah, okay.
And there's also... Jasper. Jasper's the other one. That fool's fucking funny.
Okay, him I haven't seen that much, I don't think.
He doesn't, like, rap or anything. He's more so just, like, a comedian. Like, not... I wouldn't say comedian, but, like, likes the acting side of stuff more than music and shit like that.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
They're
pretty funny.
Bro, I just figured out for my papa right now. X-Men 97 came out today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, holy shit. I saw the reviews coming out and it got like really good reviews, but I didn't know it was out. I thought this was like the like special week early previews that people got and stuff.
Is it like I think it's like the first 2 episodes, right? The first 2 episodes are out.
I saw 100%. Thank you. I saw 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I saw like 9s and like 4 out of 5s from like
I saw some 4.5s out of 5s.
Yeah, I saw really high, so I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Yeah, again, one of the pages that I follow that talks about like movies and stuff like that, the ones that were praising Dune a lot, they were praising X-Men 97 as well, and they're like, yeah, this is how you bring this is how you bring back a classic show, and don't like, obviously it's not finished yet, but they're like, this is how you don't fuck it up, you know.
Well, it's also, I think there's something different about animation as well. Just because, like, I would argue it's a lot easier to bring back an animated show than it is to bring back, like, a live-action series 20 years down the line. Because you're just animating the characters. And, like, voice actors are so good nowadays. Like, what's that one dude that they hire for, like, everybody that they can't get? I think his name's, like, Ross something. He played Red Skull in Endgame. And you couldn't even tell it wasn't Hugo Weaving.
Yeah,
he played like the German computer dude.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's people who are so good at impersonations. You can't, like, I as a fan can't even tell the difference anymore. So like I think it's easy. Not to take away from what they're doing, because I'm excited and I'm hoping that it does live up to the expectations of like our childhood and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like you got an easier burden bringing back animation than you do live action.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because you either have to recast or you have to figure out a clever way to include actors who are like 20 years older now than they were last time you saw them.
That's true.
And nobody likes a recast ever.
I think the thing with that, though, is like X-Men, that being from like the 90s, is still upholding the integrity of what the show was back then and bringing it to now, because things are completely different.
Yeah,
you know?
it's also direct continuation too.
Yeah,
like it takes place right after I don't know about right after, but I know the events of the end of how the show in the 90s ended is like directly impacting everything that's supposed to happen in this new version of it.
Yeah, so
which is cool.
We're gonna have to add that to the weekly slate too.
I know we're gonna have tons of weeklies. That this one will be 3 weeklies at least for the next few weeks.
Should we start on our weeklies, bro?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's transition over to our weeklies, man. So we have Invincible back.
Yes, we do.
Let's start off with that.
I agree.
Season 2, episode 5. Season 2, part 2, episode 5.
That's right. Yeah,
it feels weird, but
yeah, it feels like an episode 1. Exactly. It doesn't though. It doesn't feel like
it's weird. It's weird.
Dude, I don't know if you're trying to temper my expectations, but I asked you, I was like, does shit go down in this episode? And you're like, yeah, it gets down pretty hard. I watched it and I was like, what the fuck was he talking about, bro? This shit is crazy. They fucking come out with some heavy punches, dude. It's hardcore. Yeah.
I didn't want to try to like hype it up.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. Yeah, because it took me by surprise for sure. I was expecting kind of like a low key. I was expecting something along the lines of Shogun episode 4, where like all of a sudden things would get kind of intense. But like, it's a good chunk of shit that goes down for like the last like 10-15 minutes of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it basically picks up right after episode 4 left off, which it should.
Yeah.
You know, so
Mark's bleeding out.
Mark's bleeding out. His dad gets taken away by the Viltrumites.
Yep. Still stuck on the. Is it Flax? No, not Flaxian.
No, the Flaxans are the ones that came in the first season.
Yeah. What are those fuckers called?
The Thraxans or
the
something?
Thraxans, yeah.
Thraxans,
Fuck, it's so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's basically still on their planet. They bandage him up, and he stays there for like a good while to help rebuild their community.
How long was his trip out to space? Like a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I think he was gone for like 2 months or something.
Yeah, like
that.
altogether.
Yeah.
So like a couple of weeks to travel there and back. That fool's there for like a month and a half. Like, just fucking rebuilding shit.
Yeah, helping them rebuild their society because he feels bad that, you know, they brought the Viltrumites there and shit went down.
Once again.
And he really wants to stay there, but they're like, no, dude, like you have to go and please take your brother, whom we're not going to say because I don't think they name drop him. They don't name drop him in the episode, do they?
Well, he doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah,
still.
but
they haven't even named. They technically haven't named.
Okay,
him yet.
so they haven't name dropped him yet. So, basically, Mark's brother's mom, which is the Thraxan, that Nolan fell in love with.
Yeah.
She basically tells Mark like, "Hey, you have to take your brother. He can't live here.
Yeah.
Look at how old I am,
which we can tell
compared to when you got here."
Yeah.
Like, we age at a completely different pace.
Yep.
He is going to age faster because he is half Thraxan or whatever.
Yeah.
I hope we're saying it. I hope that's the right.
Really quick. I think that sounds about right.
But
yeah, not as fast as the regular folks, but still pretty damn quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she goes, you know, you got to take him. Like, you got to do the right thing. And he is very, like, reluctant because of what his little brother kind of, like, symbolizes, right? He's still kind of pissed at his dad for leaving and then falling in love with a completely different species.
Yeah.
And then having a whole nother baby. Like, he kind of feels like, what the fuck, man? Like, you kind of just kicked me to the side a little bit.
Dude, yeah. He fucking basically, I mean, I don't know. We have to dive into more Omni-Man stuff and see how they present it and everything like that. But to me, it seems like he fucking basically just used this small miniaturized version to just process the emotions that he probably felt on Earth.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, right? And, like, he kind of gets into it. He's like, why am I sad? Why am I crying? Blah, blah, blah. And then Mark just tells him, he's like, this is how you should have felt on Earth, motherfucker. You killed a bunch of our people, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. So Mark finally comes to the realization, like, okay, yeah, can't stay here forever.
Yeah.
I got to go back. I got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I got a mom, you know.
Yeah. Just people who need me still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got to go back. And he does come back, you know, surprises his mom. His mom is still trying to get over Nolan and everything.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the steps that she's taking because I think the first 4 episodes did kind of dive pretty deeply into, like, her alcoholism that you know, takes place after she figures out all the stuff about Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of this episode, I'm assuming it's one of her coworkers, I forget what his name is, drives her home and then gives her a bottle of wine. And she's ready to crack it open, but she's just like, fuck, like, I don't know, you know. She's kind of getting out from that place.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden Mark comes back with a fucking baby brother, and he's got to break it to her like, hey man, dad, he's still alive. Yeah. And guess what? Had a whole ass another kid and a whole ass another wife. So I don't know how you feel about that, but
and the very next shot is literally just her with the glass of wine, just like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy to see how that pans out because obviously right after that, Mark and his mom have to have the conversation of like, dude, what the fuck is gonna go on with this kid?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm working, you're in school. Like, what
Mark
the fuck?
wants to drop out to take care of the kid and all that.
He's like, I'm gonna miss 2 months anyway. Like, fuck, I'm already
fucked.
Yeah.
Like, might as well.
And she's very like, no, all right, like, I'll take some time, like, I'll work or like, I'll stay here with him, blah, 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 blah. Out, So that's going to be interesting to see how that relationship develops or how they portray it in the show compared to how it was, like, in the comics and stuff like that. So, yeah, crazy shit, man. Nolan's a crazy motherfucker, dude.
He is. I like him a lot because I feel like he's, like, he from what I've seen, and these are obviously just comic book, what's the word, like summaries, right? Like the shortened versions of like these like long stories and stuff like that. So I haven't read the source material, and I'm hoping that like the show will like do it even better. But I like Nolan because I think they take a really long time in the comic series before he gets back to a point of feeling like he's redeemed. It's not like he just does one super heroic thing and then he's like he's not just gonna fight off some Viltrumites with Mark all of a sudden. Everybody's
Redemption.
like, all right, Nolan, you're a good guy. Like, it takes a long time.
Redemption.
Yeah. It takes a while, right? And I like that. I like that they're leaving us. Because I think as an audience member, just because you have Mark as your protagonist and he obviously, whether he's struggling with it or not, still wants like the love of his father, right? Like it's a confused kid still about like what the fuck's even happening.
Yeah.
You as an audience member want Nolan to come through for him and for Debbie and for Earth in general, right? Of like redeeming himself. So the fact that they're giving you very small teases, very little hints as we've gone on about like, okay, he might be able to get there. He might be able to get there. Oh, here's a little glimpse of humanity in him, or like morality or whatever you want to call it. And it's good. I like that it's a slow tease because I love a good redemption arc, but they can very much be cheapened if it happens too quickly. Like that happened with like, I know like that was like one of the big things with like Kylo Ren for me in those movies. Not that that whole movie was good at all, but that just like, you know, all of a sudden he gets stabbed and his mama's like, hey, I love you, baby. And then he's like, oh, fuck, I'm a good guy again. Like, oh, shit, I forgot.
I forgot.
Dude, I do like the light side of the Force.
Shit,
I do want my lightsaber to be blue. It's like,
oh, damn.
fuck, bro. God. Yeah, so I like that they're making him earn it a little bit more. And in turn, it feels like we're having to earn it a little more because we need to stick with him through his mistakes and his failures like a little bit longer. So he's good. I like him as like this like shadow that looms over like really all of the characters in the series because like you get a lot of good stuff this episode too with the Guardians of the Globe, I think, and just how they're operating and how they've fared without, you know, Viltrumite power on their side. Because even though Mark's inexperienced and he's like obviously not nearly as strong as his dad or like any other Viltrumites at this point, he is on the Earth hero scale. He's still pretty fucking insane. Yeah. Like if homie wanted to, he could probably take anybody on Earth right now. Like I don't even think
Cecil's very quick to when he gets back to like one or two. Like hey, like let's get
I need you back, brother. Yeah, like we've been missing you, pal. Because they brush over it. Because I think omnipotence is like I can't remember if they.
I am omnipotent.
Yeah, I can't remember if they just shoot through it super quickly in the comic book series as well, or if it's more drawn out. But if I'm not mistaken, omnipotence is like one of the stronger like evil entities in the Invincible universe. So I don't know if we're going to revisit that or if they're just going to leave it as like the overdramatic villain joke that it was. He very much felt like a little bit of a poke at like an Endgame type of vibe, you know, of like the big bad guy is here declaring that he is inevitable and all of your heroes are here to take him down. And they're like, you've seen that. We're not going to do that, blah, 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 or whatever.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of fine with not like going too much into omnipotence.
It's funny
like,
as the joke.
Yeah.
It was good for what it was. Like, it doesn't need to be more.
Yeah. And I liked it for the like, they don't fucking need me. They're all good.
Yeah,
they're just getting
it works in Mark's favor.
They're just getting the fuck beat out of them.
Yeah, because like this episode for sure, I think it felt very much like it reminded me a lot of episode 1 of the very first show. In that like, you know, they set up these certain standards and these characters that we've come to believe are pun very much intended, somewhat invincible. Like, you know, they have plot armor or whatever. And then they fuck them up, man. They fuck them up hard. And a couple of them, one of them to me, I don't think is going to stick. We'll get into the spoilers and details about it shortly here. But yeah, essentially like after the return section of this episode is kind of somewhat tied up in a bow. Like Mark's, you know, dotted all his I's and crossed all his T's. He went to go see Amber. Cecil came through and also is like trying to take the baby, right? He's like, oh, you guys don't know how to care for a fucking alien. We have people who know that. And I'm like, motherfucker, if they don't know how, you probably don't know how either. Get the fuck out of here.
And you don't want to take care of him. You just want to fucking experiment.
You want to turn him into your weapon, your tool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So fuck off, Cecil. But yeah, he's done all that. And then Cecil is forced, I think, like on 2 fronts with both Mark and with Shapeshifter, right? To just be like, well, fuck, we have something crazy going on. So I need to put all that shit aside because what are they called? The Martian squid things? Nebuzoids, something zoids. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Anyway, the weird.
They're basically like it's like Starro, basically.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
But
it is like
without
Starro,
but without a big star. It's
Yes.
just a bunch of
they're
little
squids.
the sequids.
The sequids, yeah. They're like these little squids who have tiny little brains on the top of their heads, and they're just a hive mind. And it was teased in the Mars episode of last season, right, where we saw the astronaut become infected and start to pilot the ship towards Earth or whatever, and like, you know, it's coming for revenge. And then now that's coming through. And basically everybody has to like drop their shit and their little issues that they have to just like work together and figure it out, because it's like world-ending calamity, right? Like your superhumans, like your Invincibles, Immortals, what's his name? Like Bulletproof is there. They have Monster Girl there, right?
Bulletproof.
Yeah, they're all fine because they can't get their skin pierced by like, you know, like not super strong people. And so they're good. Like it's fine. It doesn't matter. But if they can, then that they're going to literally take over like all of Earth like that. Like it'll be over or whatever. And so like, yeah, the team of like basically all of the strongest of them go up to Earth, or not to Earth, sorry. Go up to try and meet like the ship that's following them and have a real fucking tough time doing it. Like I loved the one. I honestly was cracking the fuck up about the, cause they're like coming in on the space shuttle, right? And they like get close, and Shapeshifter, who I think is super funny. I love, what's his name? Ben Schwartz. He's the guy who voice acts for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he plays Sonic too. And then he's in like Parks and Rec and all that. But he's like, oh yeah, by the way, like their sensors are too good and they know we're here and they're probably about to fire a bunch of missiles on us. And they're like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
And then everything shows up out of nowhere and he's all fucking, I forget who says it. I can't remember if it's like Invincible or it's Bulletproof or somebody, but one of them is like, do we have any shields? Like, do we have it? And like Robot just like super deadpan. It's like, this is not Star Trek.
Yeah.
We are not armed.
Yeah. He's all, this is just and you go up and it's just like a really crudely put together like spaceship.
Yeah, like the kind of shit that you saw in like 1967, like shooting up and stuff. Yeah. And
that's so funny because with it like subverts your expectations. Like a lot of superhero shows, right? Like you're in the midst of that. A lot of superhero shows, it's like, oh yeah, fucking shields, blasters, everything.
Yeah.
And then for that to be like, oh no, this is just a normal ship. I was like, damn, this is fucking. That was funny.
Yeah, that's good.
That was great.
Yeah, and then it gives Eve a chance to go ham, and you know, like creates the shields a couple times and stuff. But yeah, they like immediately start getting overwhelmed by the sequids. And that just, I mean, it's cool action and stuff, but that just kind of goes on for a while in the background to like build tension. They don't resolve it or anything like that. It's a very cliffhangery episode.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah. But the shit going down on the ground gets crazy, bro, because the only Guardians left are Rex, Duplicate, and Shrinking or what's her name in this? Shrinking Atom is it still Shrinking Atom?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the character in the comic books because it was a dude in the comic books. I'm not sure if it was like Shrinking Atom, as in like the name Atom. So they changed it, or if that was just the superhero title. I don't know. But those are the last three left. And Rex, you know, Rex like declares himself in charge and is like, we're fucking chilling until they get back.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck's going to happen on Earth? Like, there's already one crazy world-ending crisis. No way there's going to be another one. And then, lo and behold, the fucking Serpent Society shows up somewhere that has nuclear weapons. They don't really specify where, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, they break into a place that like has access to like nukes that are trained on like every major civilization on the planet. He's like, America, like Russia, London, whatever. He's like, I have them all. I'm like, where the fuck is this? That they just have everywhere fucking
They're
targeted.
just ready. They're just ready all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, so they break in, take over, and then those three are the only to go in. And like, again, I felt like it was a twist to me because even with the knowledge that like, okay, spoiler territory for stuff that happens in the comic books from here on out.
Spoilers.
Even though I am aware of the fact that all three of these characters do not make it to the end of Invincible, I was not expecting them to start fucking them up and like potentially killing them off as well, like this early into stuff. But you know, things have shifted in terms of the timeline, right, from comic book to show. But yeah, everything seems fine. They're kicking ass. Rex is doing his jokes and stuff like that. They're calling the big guy like too big and, you know, making fun of this and that. And it's all funny, right? So it feels very Marvel-esque. And then all of a sudden, fucking Duplicate starts to have some issues with the big dude. And fucking runs out of things and gets smashed against herself and, like, is seemingly dead. Which, again, spoilers for the comics, but Duplicate's probably not dead. Because there's a contingency Kate who lives, like, I don't know, somewhere in Antarctica or, like, Alaska or some shit, right? There's always, like, a safety Kate. Anyway, she's probably fine. But still, very gruesome, very surprising. You don't expect it. Like, super hardcore shit. And then, what's her name? Again, I might be getting it wrong. But the shrinking...
the shrinking girl.
Yeah, the shrinking girl in the show. She, like, you know, gets pissed and was, like, fucking trying to fight him and stuff. And just previously, we saw her successfully fucking jump into a dude's eyeball, grow bigger, and, like, blow his head up. So you're like, oh, yeah, okay, that works. And then fucking gets munched on. And in the I felt if she's really dead, then, like, it kind of still sucks because, like, a lot of fans, I guess, talk about the fact that, like, in the comic book, her comic book counterpart, the guy has, like, a very shitty death, which is that he literally just gets, like, chomped while he's small by, I think, the same dude. Or maybe it's a different villain. I'm not sure. I
think it's the same dude.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, that's a pretty lame way to die, for sure. And so I think a lot of people were hoping or wanting, like, something more for that character. And it's not that much better. It's arguably worse. It's probably one of the saddest fucking deaths in the show so far. Just
she, like, almost gets it.
Yeah.
And then no.
And yeah, like, no, she fucking she jumps into his mouth, or he swallows her, right? Yeah. And then he munches her. Yeah. Then Rex is all idiot. She gets bigger, right? And then and then kaboom, and it's like, oh no, she's about to fucking burst out of the side of his fucking head and shit. Oh my god! But then he's like, nah, hold on, fam, I got this. He's like,
let me flex.
Give me a second. Yeah. Which I don't know how that works. I don't know if he just, like, forced her back down to a small size and then was able to, like, munch her or what. Because, like, I'm not positive, but I don't think if you swallow something that you can just, like, force it back down with your shoulder. Because she's, like, popping out of here and shit.
I don't know, man. I don't have muscles like that
big.
So I don't
Who
know.
Knows?
Like,
I'm not a Hulk.
I imagine, like, once you get muscle groups like that, like, you're able to move things
all
that
kinds
you've never.
Of things are
like,
possible.
you're able to move things that you've never moved before. You know, so it's like, you know, like, people can move their fucking lats in and out and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't fucking do that shit. True. So I don't know. But
yeah, shit was just gruesome though. Of, like, you just see her, like, slowly the slow realization of both Rex and us as the audience of, like, oh no, she's not gonna make it out of there.
Yeah, and Rex is the only one left. Yeah, and this fool cannot handle him.
No, he's like,
cannot handle the other fools.
Oh fuck, this is not happening. Fuck. Like, it's good. Like, it's funny still, even though it's, like, a dire situation. But yeah, he fucking, like, ends up chopping the other chick in half, the one who was, like, slicing his ass up, right? And, like, super nonchalant. He's still just kind of like, I'm still not out of it. Fuck. And then he uses his little exploding poker chip thingies, whatever they are. I don't know.
Little discs.
Yeah. Fucking same shit. Fucking tries to shove one into his head. Homie gets his fucking hand chomped off. And it's just, like, sitting there bleeding out. Killed the big dude. But then I forget what his name is, but the new secret leader of the Serpent Society or whatever fucking shows up and has the gun on his head. And then, yeah, the heroes on the ship are struggling, and then cliffhanger. We have to
heroes
see what
on
happens.
the ground are struggling.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy shit. It got so intense, dude.
It was the ending was really fucking crazy. I liked a lot of, like, the relationship building stuff also within the episode, like seeing the way freaking what is it, the Immortal, like seeing him, like, operate the new fucking Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah.
And seeing how he's just a fucking asshole. I was just like, yeah,
he sucks.
That's pretty crazy.
Super annoying.
Seeing the relationship that is building between Robot and freaking Monster Girl, I think is going to be interesting, because you see how he's becoming, like, this very, like, overbearing, like, hey man, and it's honestly coming from, like he's not being unreasonable, you know?
Well, not only is he not being, I get where she's coming from, because you would probably trip.
Yeah.
But it's not only that he's not being unreasonable, he's also essentially a child.
Yeah.
Because he is brand new to, like, human emotion.
Exactly.
So he does not know what the fuck to do with any of this shit. Yeah.
So but he's just straight up like, hey man, like, you're having her train like this, and you do not understand that, when she turns into a monster and then comes back, she is getting fucking younger every time.
Yeah.
So every time you're having her do this, like I get where you're coming from of like, we need to be better, but it's like, one day she might not. She's just gonna be a baby. She's just gonna be a baby, and you know. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Because obviously I've, dabbled in the source material, so I understand where that goes. But I'm excited to see that get brought to, animation and stuff like that.
And he's obviously Robert Kirkman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's obviously like not completely changing things. I feel like everything has been like historically accurate, quote unquote. But I feel like he's playing with expectations by like when and where things are happening, because like a lot of that has been different, and I think that's been pretty solid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I also liked the Rex and Eve moment was honestly really, really
super
good
sweet,
too. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Because you see how he has, I wouldn't say like changed, but at least like grown a little bit, right?
Yeah, he's not terrible. Well, he's still kind of terrible.
He's still kind of terrible, but at least he has like a little bit of a heart, and he comes back.
Well, he does. He's the lovable asshole, the lovable idiot.
Yeah, and I like him being just like, damn, bro, like shit must be all bad if you're like back at your parents' house.
Yeah,
like,
he
you
knows.
hella don't,
Yeah.
You don't like him, and I liked him bringing up like the picture and stuff like that, because that like, like it shows again that he's grown a little bit. He's taking a piece of like their history and understanding something that was like important to her at a certain point in her time, and being like, hey man, like think about your family. Think about like this family, And you watched the Eve episode, right?
No, I still haven't seen it.
Oh my God! So you don't even know where that fucking comes from.
No, I mean I mostly know what happens in it at this point, because both you and Diggs have explained it to me, but I just haven't watched it yet.
God damn it, bro! You need to watch it, because that shit's so good, and it makes that like, to me, that was very impactful for me, because at the end of that first episode, or like the pre-episode, the special, the Adam Eve episode, like that was very like a heavy moment for sure, because you see how much she like goes through within that episode of like, again, all the shit that she goes through. I need you to watch that shit. I don't want to fucking talk about it on here. But I really liked that moment, and that was super impactful for me because of that Adam Eve episode. And I thought it was good. It shows to like the strength of the writing, I think, of this show, to bring something that is very important in a special, but you might write off because, okay, it's just a special that might be very like self-contained, but bringing that and making that like a big focal point, or not necessarily like the biggest focal point, but at least in that moment, like a very touching moment, added to like that scene, I thought was very, very good. So,
well, that's one of the things that I just think is special about this show that is cool. I hope is present in the other animated stuff that is like popping up nowadays. But like, this is a different, like class of like animated show, because it's like primetime animation.
Yes.
So like everything, even the specials, are like taken into account, because everything is so focused and like such high quality and stuff. It's like, it feels like an HBO show.
Dude, it
just happens to be a cartoon. Like,
it's a cartoon, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's fucking awesome. This first episode back was super, super good. Definitely has me geared up for the rest of the season. And I think also too,
what about the end of that episode? The end of the episode, the end credits.
Oh, yeah, with fucking
Alan.
That's right. Oh, I knew that part too. I think we were both already saying, right?
Yeah,
we knew he wasn't dead, blah, 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 blah. But I did like, fucking cracked me to bits. I was laughing my ass off of the way they did the reveal. Because like, again, both of us have like looked at the YouTube videos and stuff, so it's not like a huge surprise, but just the fucking but just then the mustache stays there. I am a Viltrumite. And like, you sure are, buddy. Holy shit. You ripped your whole facial hair off, but somehow your mustache survived. That show was cracking me up. But yeah, it was good. I'm glad to see him back. I like when I looked at a side by side afterward, I was like, oh, okay, he is bigger now. But like right out of the gate, I was like, Alan was pretty buff. He was already pretty big. That's what I'm saying. I was like, is he bigger? Because he's kind of like, whoa, I'm really strong now. Like, oh, I'm huge. And I was like, I thought you were already that buff, but okay. No, but I think it's just the break. Yeah. But then again, big. Yeah, you look back and it's like, oh no, he got chunky. He got swole, bro.
He got fucking thick,
and
bro.
The other thing too that was like at least for me, was like the fact that he just like sits up.
Yeah.
And like rips that whole fucking like apparatus to shreds.
I liked that so much, because that is like a big thing in the source material of he just fucking got up and was like, oh shit. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad. And it's Seth Rogen. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Oh, my bad. Like,
so I really liked seeing that come to life, because that's just like a funny moment, and, making that like the end credit. So it is like, you know, it's focused in itself. You know, people are really tuned into that, and that. Yeah, it was just super great the way it panned out, the way they were able to pull it off, and obviously Seth Rogen being the voice of Alan the Alien, so it made it funny. Just like super funny.
Yeah,
like, oh fuck, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was a great episode back. I think it definitely like reels me in for the rest. It is certainly a better start to me than the start of the season was, which is like weird to say because it's not technically a new start, right? It's half. It's the next episode or whatever. It's episode 5. Like in retrospect, it won't matter. This is not another start. This is the continuation of the season. But because we're in it now and had to deal with the break, this feels like a much better, like, let's get back into it vibe for sure. This shit goes crazy.
Oh, yeah. I thought this was a great episode back again. Like, the last 10 to 15 minutes was really, really fucking good and really, really solid. Not that the rest of the episode wasn't good, but again, it was like we were saying, like Shogun episode 4, where it's like it's a solid episode, but then you get to the last bit of the episode and you're like, holy shit just I didn't know shit could get everything changes crazier.
All of a sudden.
I'm glad this is back. What the thing that I like most about the show is it doesn't pull its punches, and you know you can see that by like the end of the episode. Like you're saying, it was very reminiscent of the end of the first episode of like the first season, which 100%, because like these fools are just getting fucked up and you don't know what's gonna happen. We're left off on a big cliffhanger with both teams, and it's just like I'm
see
just
you
like
next
fuck.
Thursday.
See you guys. We'll be back.
Definitely super intense. I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know. I know that the Sequid stuff.
The Sequids
happened like in relation to the comic series happened before where we are, right? With like
I believe so.
Or like vice versa, like the Thraxan stuff happened like earlier in the show or something. I don't know. So like I'm also interested just to see how everything like starts to line up with like how I remember it from, again, like YouTube summaries and stuff like that. But that's been one of the most fun parts, is just like thinking that I had a leg up because I watched the lore videos. Yeah. And then him being like, just kidding, bro. Check this out. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
You got me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. One thing before we transition over, I did like again, it speaks to the writing of I think the show, like with the Sequid stuff, how often in like other superhero genre TV shows will they're like, you know, we got teased the Sequid stuff in the first season, right? Yeah. I feel like in a lot of other shows, it would have been like, that was one part, and then immediately after, in like the next episode or two, we're going to deal with that conflict.
Well, because like usually in cartoons, especially the ones I remember as a kid that were superhero ones, was like, those were the big events. It was like the 3-part episodes. Yeah. You would get like 3 in a row, and like, or maybe it was like 2 in a row, and they were, light goes on?
That was weird.
There's like 2 in a row, but they would air back to back. So you would get to watch them both at like the same time or something. Like it's very different.
Yeah. And like that being like a big part in itself in the first season, but so much other stuff happening in that first season that gets put on the back burner, and you kind of almost forget. Yeah. And then this comes back and you're like, oh shit,
that's right,
I forgot. Yeah. There's this huge ass shit that they gotta fucking do.
Yeah, it's good, dude. It's fucking good.
Yeah. Great show. Invincible, go watch that shit. Amazon Prime. Go check it out. Did you have ads in yours?
I did. I think Amazon changed their price points.
Damn, fuckers.
They do that.
Because I was like, what the fuck? I never have ads.
Yeah, I think
I was pissed, low key.
Netflix has done it a few times already. I think Prime has also actually done it before. But yeah, that was what I assume happened, because I don't see any other reason for there to all of a sudden be ads.
At least like with Netflix, they're just like, hey, we're just raising the price. Yeah. Like, and it's just gonna get raised. Yeah. Whereas like with Amazon Prime, like, there's like, we're going to raise the price, and you got to do that raised price. Like, it doesn't automatically go to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have Prime, like, you should automatically put me at that new price and not just, like, let me sit here and be like, oh, there's ads all of a sudden? Like, what happened? I mean,
I'll take them waiting to ask me to charge the extra money, but I did think it was fucking weird, because, like, it straight up said, at the end of one of, like, the 2 ad frames that I got, it was, like, Prime with ads, and I was like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Or like it said, I don't think it said with commercials, it said like with ads or something now. So like, they definitely changed something. I don't know if it was the price point or the model and how it all works now, but Amazon's shifting something up for sure.
I don't know, but I feel
Shifty
you though.
bastards.
I guess I do also appreciate that they, just didn't charge
Like,
me
don't
the
just
extra
charge
money.
me more. Yeah.
But
just
again,
don't do
I
it
already
in general.
I already have Prime.
Yeah.
Like just let
You
me
know
continue
I'm
to have
gonna
Prime.
do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it because I don't like ads, bro.
It'd be nice if you could like get grandfathered in. Where
Yeah,
like if you were paying for it
exactly.
all that time, they're like, just keep it. At
Yeah,
the
just
price you
keep
got,
it.
you're
Just
good,
keep
buddy.
it.
But
But
no.
for all the newcomers, this is the price.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be cool.
Nope, they don't do
But
that.
no,
Not with
they wouldn't
streaming.
fucking do
Not
that.
with streaming. Yeah,
But yeah, go watch that shit on Amazon Prime.
it's very good.
Amazon Prime with ads.
With ads, yeah.
But yeah, shall we move on to some Shogun?
Shogun, bro, hell yeah.
And we got to talk about episode 4 and
yeah.
5.
Yeah, definitely.
Because last week I got really sad that you didn't watch episode 4.
I know,
Because
yeah.
the end of episode 4 is so crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, to summarize episode 4, it's basically John Blackthorne teaching the Japanese Tornaga's forces on how to use the cannons
like
and
the
shit
long-range
like
ship
that.
cannons, yeah.
And him becoming closer with Lady Mariko.
Yep.
He gets a consort. He really doesn't want to get a consort. Which when I thought about it, because I had gone back and watched the first couple episodes, that. Like, I think in like the first or second episode, Toranaga told, what is it, Lady Fuji? I think that's her name.
Yeah, his consort.
Yeah.
I think so.
He was like, oh, you're going to come with me. But he doesn't explain what
Why,
it is.
yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay, this chick's just fucking coming with him. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this chick's going to be his consort, which is like almost like his wife, but not like his wife,
It's like his house attendant.
Yeah.
Companion.
Exactly.
Lady. I don't understand. It's a different culture. And at a different time, too. A much, much different time.
Yeah, and you see him like adjusting to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they go, they're not in Osaka, they're on freaking,
I think it's
is it Ajiro or something like that?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so they're on one specific island.
It's where we were introduced to I forget his name. Yabushige? Is that it?
Yabushige!
Is that his name?
Yeah.
The dude who's like playing both sides, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
That little village.
Yeah. And we're there. The Anjin gets his own house, and you see him like sort of trying to adjust to like the Japanese culture and stuff like that. You see how he's tripping out on a lot of stuff. He's like, bro, I don't like a consort. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, I'm cool. Like, she doesn't have to do what I say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really.
Yeah.
Like, just you don't have to be here.
Yeah.
But she's very like I think one of the most interesting things to me is like seeing how devoted they are to like the traditions within their culture, you know? And we get more of that in the 5th episode, but like starting in the 4th episode, like you see how like with Lady Fuji, like she really doesn't want to do this, but because they won't allow her to do anything else, she's like, fuck, all right, I gotta fucking do this and shit like that.
Yeah, one of the things that I actually liked about not watching, but talking about 4 and 5 together, and like, did you just remind me of this right now with what you said, is it's like this first episode, but the 4th episode, I think, before shit hits the fan, very much focuses on like the, I guess I'll say like nicer parts of that old school traditional culture, right? Like, I don't know how much of that is still present in like today's Japanese culture and whatnot, but at this snapshot in time, it shows us like all the nice things, right? And I think Blackthorne is like starting to become charmed by like the Japanese lifestyle during this time, right? He's like starting to recognize how beautiful his surroundings are, and is like starting to learn more Japanese, and is like following more of the customs and being like polite and less fucking crazy hardcore British dude. I am John Blackthorne, like fucking hardcore guy.
I am John Blackthorne.
He has the I told my grandpa yesterday because we were talking about it. I was like, I swear to God, that dude swallows a fucking bucket of gravel before every take, because that dude's like, I am John Blackthorne. I'm a British man.
Yeah.
John Blackthorne.
Why do you do these things?
Dude, he's crazy shit.
Like where I come from.
He's great. I love him.
Yeah.
I'm poking fun because of how good he is, honestly. But like, yeah.
But he is like, when it's with me, he's like, where I come from.
Yeah.
We, like, yes, ladies are our property, but we don't treat them like this.
It's like, okay,
and it's just like, bro, talk normal.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's, I feel like he's starting to just, like, fall in love a little bit, right? Not only with just, like, the culture and I think the place that he's in, but
with Lady Mariko.
Obviously, also Lady Mariko, because you don't have a prime time show like this without a little bit of forbidden love going on.
Little bit of love going on.
And I think that's handled pretty well, just because we're already set up with the expectation of the fact that Lady Mariko-sama is not like down for her husband. Does she take his quote unquote death, which we'll get into when we talk about episode 5? But does she take his death harsh? Yeah. She's not like just like okay that he's gone now or anything like that. But we kind of get the sense of the way they present the relationship before, like, she's going to be okay. She's got her independence now, and she could do her shit without, you know, him on her shoulder all the time trying to fucking put her down because she's more important than he is right now, and he can't fucking handle it because he's a big old crybaby samurai boy. But fucking anyway, she is. I like the way they handle it because it also doesn't feel like they're like fucking falling in love with each other and they're like, you are my destined lover from another land and shit like that. It's like they're both the only this one dude who's the like only guy who speaks English or like Portuguese, I guess, right? English, Portuguese, whatever. In the show is the only person that she can communicate with, and so like she has this inside look into like another culture, right? And like is the sole person basically, aside from a couple other characters, who can actually like, communicate with him. And the stuff that they have is sweet. He's like, I think she's like half the reason in this episode why he like starts to soften up a little bit, because he's vastly different already than he was when we were first introduced to him. And I don't know, it just works for me. It feels, and like time has passed as well. Like they do a good job of showing it's been a while. I think they say it's been like almost a month. It's been like 20 days or something like that. But I thought it was good. It was solid.
The chemistry feels natural. Like it's not something that's immediately forced onto you.
No.
Like there are a lot of shows where they will early on in the show force.
They'll be like, these two are gonna fall in love.
These two are gonna fall in love.
These are the lovers. Check it out.
But it's something that grows over time because, like you said, they're the only. Mariko-sama is the only person that John Blackthorne can communicate with and convey his thoughts to, and like all his opinions and stuff like that. So gradually, of course, they might have some feelings for each other because, you know, I'll take you walking along the River Thames. Like she's like, oh,
fucking walks in on his ass butt naked,
butt ass fucking naked, and she's like,
so, I'm sorry.
And he's like, no, it's okay.
Standing there, he's all, ooh. My bad.
He's like, aren't I so ripped right now?
Even though he was supposed to be fucking starving on a boat for fucking 5 months or whatever.
I was starving for 5 months, but I always found time to do push-ups.
I worked out every day. Yeah, that's how I survived.
Have you heard of Sir Andrew Tate? Yes, I quite like that man. You know, do push-ups and everything.
Dude, he cracks me up, bro. He's super good. I really like his performance, but it's just the voice is just like so like just like such a classic British like a bad guy in my mind voice of just like the hardcore gravelly fucking I'm John Blackthorne.
I'm John Blackthorne.
I'm John Blackthorne. Feel like he says that one all the time. And then the other one I liked who you said earlier is where I come from. He says it like every 5 fucking minutes, bro.
And he always does like this thing with the set. He's like, where I come from.
Yeah. Where I come from. I'm John Blackthorne.
People call me John Blackthorne.
Yeah.
Where I am from.
Where I am from.
Where I come from, that is what they call me.
Where are you from? London. Yeah, dude. But yeah, he's good. The chemistry is really good. I liked that slow build of that in the episode. I think it's also not the start, but just like, you know, the beginnings of some, I don't want to say like backstabbing, but just like shady stuff going on within like houses or clans, I guess, in this, right? Because like, so the regiment is being trained, everything's been going down, and like, you know, we get this like a long montage of basically everybody in that village starting to become more comfortable with each other. Like I think even like Yuji, I think that's her name, right? Or Fuji, yeah. And Blackthorne are like starting to get along more, and again he's like learning tiny Japanese words here and there that like help him enough to get through like certain basic stuff. And I think they like take to that, right? Like the people in his house and are like, you know, smiling at him more, and like, you know,
she gives him the sword.
The sword,
like that.
Yeah, and that part's great too. I love it because then like, you know, he gives her his pistols, right?
Yeah.
And then that is just one of my favorite scenes of the whole show so far, when like the nephew guy, who's like the leader of that village, right, is Blackthorne is, I get it, it's a good gesture, but like, you know, he's got the swords, and he's like trying to be official, right? Because what is he, the Hashimoto?
Like Hatamoto or something.
Hatamoto,
Like
yeah. I forgot what it means, but he has this title that Toranaga gave to him in the last episode, and I can't remember if it's Mariko or Fuji who tells him that like it's improper for someone of his title to walk around without swords, like.
Mm-hmm.
And so she gives him the swords and, tries to beat good on it. And then the nephew guy is like, take those off, motherfucker. Like, I don't want you to have weapons. Like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And because of their history, homeboy literally fucking pissed on his head the first time he met him and shit. He's like, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm keeping these or whatever. And so he gives, or it's the pistols, right? And then, sorry, not the swords. And so he gives in and he fucking gives them back to Fuji. And she's like, he comes up and he's like, give me the pistols. And she's kind of like, she like looks down at him for a second. And she just goes, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, back the fuck up. This is my Hatamoto or whatever it is. Like, I'm gonna keep his pistols right here, bitch.
Hey,
that shit was dope, bro.
She's a ride or die, bro. She's
fuck
a ride or die.
She's badass. I like her a lot. She's one of my favorite characters
Fuji's
in
hard.
the show so far.
Fuji's hard.
Yeah. But yeah, great scene. I loved it. But yeah, so basically, plotting starts to happen a little bit, right? Where like the nephew and Toranaga's son are drinking sake after, what's his name? Nabara Jozen, I think. The samurai like leader representative guy of Ishido's like military or like his clan's army or whatever it is, right? Shows up and is like, hey, what the fuck you guys doing training Toranaga's guys with cannons? Like, you guys need to come back right now. Like, we know he's here or whatever. And what's his name? Is it Yabushige?
Yabushige.
Is that his name? Yeah?
I believe so.
Okay. I hope we're not getting these wrong. We're going to have to do
check him real quick.
Yeah, let me see. I think we compared him to like Littlefinger.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah, he's always plotting. He's always trying to do some shit.
Yeah, he's still trying to save shit, and so he basically tells his name's what is it? Oh, it only has Kashigi Yabushige. Yabushige is basically telling, I think the other guy's name is Jozen, the dude who shows up as the samurai representative or whatever, is like, hey man, just check out what these cannons can do, and then we could take these back to the homie. Like, it's cool, relax or whatever. Because
Yabushige was pretty blown away by the cannons, right? Because when John Blackthorne was first setting them up, he like took them really far back. He set up
two super tiny posts.
He set up two super tiny targets. And was like, yeah, we're going to fucking hit that. Yabushige like, dude, there's no way.
These cannons aren't that accurate.
There's no way. Shoots first one,
Kabah!
Boom, hits that shit.
Yeah.
Shoots the next one,
Kabah!
Boom, hits that shit.
Pretty
he's
good.
Like, oh,
he's like, damn, Anjin's all right. That was pretty fire.
He's
like,
hey. He goes back. He's like, the Anjin guy, it's pretty fucking tight. Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad.
So they realize, right, like the power that like these like British cannons have and stuff like that. And so he's trying to again play the field and get the homie to be like, just check them out really quick. Stay the night. We'll show you our demonstration tomorrow. It'll be all good. And he's like, all right, fuck it. But Toranaga's son is not having it. He's like, this is fucking disrespectful. Like, this dude's fucking plotting behind my dad's back. Blah, 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 blah. And so...
Not my dad.
Yeah. And so, is having a drunken sake night with the nephew of Yabushige. I can't remember his name. But he's basically feeding him this, like, shit of, like, damn, like... That's crazy, bro. Like, you let these guys who are your dad's enemy come up into your house and just, like, tell you what to do? Like, that's fucking wild, bro.
He's gaslighting him
hardcore,
bro.
Dude. Yeah, and he's like, nah, bro, you're fucking right, dude. Like,
I'd never do that. Personally, I'd never do that.
Yeah.
But, we're two different people.
Dude,
but I'm just saying what I would never do.
Your dad's, like a vice president, bro, and you're letting him walk all over you guys. Like, that's crazy, bro.
But that's just what I see. That's just what I see,
Yeah, dude.
Could be completely different.
So I don't know.
But third party point of view, that's just what I see.
Fucking young, eager homie fucking falls for it. Hook, line, and sinker. All drunk as fuck. And so, we come to the next day. And they're setting up this demonstration. Everybody's already on edge because everybody there is of the understanding that, like, they're sent there to, like, basically arrest them and take them back to Osaka, right? To, like, face... Or if not, just straight up fucking kill them. Because, like, Toranaga dipped when he was not supposed to. So he's already in trouble. And they know he left at this point. And he's resigned and all that shit, right? So, all that bullshit has happened. That's actually another important one not to gloss over, which is like another thing that happens, I think, in this episode is we find out why the older dude that's like Toranaga's friend, I can't remember his name either, stayed in Osaka because he essentially delivers the message that Toranaga's like, yo, I resigned from the council, and guess what? You guys can't make decisions without 5 of us. So you can't impeach me anymore, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, like super baller move, but also like, damn, that fool's sneaky, bro. Like he knows how to play the game.
He's a trickster, bro. He's known for his tricks.
It's crazy. I like his character a lot. Side tangent really quickly, because like I feel like a lot of the times are morally good characters. Like again, we go back to like the Ned Stark, right? To do this complete comparison to Game of Thrones. They're usually on the moral high ground, but because of that, they don't play the game, so to speak. They don't pull the strings, and they don't, because they're always too honorable to do that shit or whatever. And I'm not going to go so far as to say that like Toranaga is being like, you know, a shifty bastard. It's always like stuff that you're down for because, you know, again, he does have like somewhat of like a moral high ground, I guess, in this like gray area show that we have going on. But the fact that you have a protagonist character who's like fucking with the system a little bit and playing those games and like going through all that, it makes him like more dangerous, I think, because he has like a good cause, but he also knows like how to not get fooled by that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool. It's a good, he's scary, bro. I like him a lot.
He's better than Ned Stark, Loki.
100%, 1000. Again, because he has that edge to him. Like he's not a classic.
Well, I guess we have till the end of the first season to see, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if he dies at the end of the first season,
well, this will be. I'm not exactly sure how long they will take, but the show is based off of a book, and it's not huge.
Okay.
And it's one book, so I don't know if it's gonna go past this first season.
Okay.
It might be a one and done. I don't know. 10 hours seems like a pretty long time to me to adapt a book, but I could be wrong. They might want to milk it a little bit and split it into two seasons. Who knows? True. But yeah, I like him. I think he's great. But anyways, his son, again, is going through all the bullshit. So we wake up the next day. They're doing it. The tension's already in the air. And fucking, he's like, his son, right? It's like, hey, come over here. Like, come a little closer and check out the cannons really quick. Like, see how cool they are, whatever. And then he's like, also, all of my folks, why don't you guys just come over here really quick? Get out the way.
Yeah.
No reason. It's all good. Just check it out.
I just want to give you your space.
Yeah.
I just want you to be able to look at it in peace. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's like, what the fuck is he doing? What's going on? This is kind of weird. And then literally out of nowhere, just boom! Fucking people, horses, limbs just start getting blown the fuck up by chain cannons, bro.
Crazy.
Just hardcore. Definitely the most like violent display that they have had on the show so far. So already super, super shocking. And then just like the repercussions immediately as well that like we can tell and then that are like explained to us is just like, oh no, this is really bad, bro. You just started war, fool. Like, what are you doing, kid?
Straight up. That's when I was like, oh shit just got real. When homie was like, yeah, he just started a war.
Yeah.
Now.
I think Mariko says it right at the end when it cuts off. She just says like, fuck, this is war now. Like, it's over.
Oh, we also didn't even talk about in the 4th episode, John Blackthorne and Lady Mariko-sama. They
got
fucked,
down,
bro.
They really did. Yeah. Again, not super out of left field for me. Like, I think from the beginning they're trying to like build the chemistry, and so like I figured they were gonna fuck at some point, right? They had to. But I will say, the immediate next episode just adds a whole lot of juice and a whole lot of drama to that situation.
Dude, and I love me some drama, bro. I love me some fucking spicy fucking shit that's going down.
Yeah, definitely gets super, super primetime TV, HBO shit all of a sudden. Yeah. Because, after that, so we get pretty hardcore cliffhanger. It's very gruesome, very intense, super, super shocking. And like you're saying, like just totally changes like everything you view about the show all of a sudden. But the cliffhanger's right there, like super hard. And then they're just like, again, see you next week. Like, sorry. But we come back and then, how does it start right away with Buntaro coming back?
No, it starts with them like basically cleaning up all the bodies.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That.
Yeah,
And
homies
people
are
being
just,
like, "What the fuck?
dude,
like, I
crazy.
I didn't want this shit."
Just picking up fucking legs and
Yep.
like chopping them or putting them on the back of fucking wagons and shit. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, yeah.
And then they're doing that, and all of a sudden they're like, "Holy shit! A big ass fucking army's coming!" And they're like, "What the fuck?" And who's at the head of that army?
Toranaga.
Fucking
Yoshi Toranaga.
It's Buntaro.
Oh, it's Buntaro?
Yeah.
No, but Toranaga's with him. He's the one leading it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Buntaro is there too. That's when he comes back.
Then you're like, "Oh."
That's where he was for the last 20 days because he left right when they got there, and he's like, "I'll be back in a little bit. Don't worry. Gotta get a fucking army ready, bro."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Buntaro is back.
Survived.
And Lady Mariko-sama is like, what
conflicted. Yeah, definitely.
She's tripping.
Yeah.
Because she thought she was cool with John Blackthorne. She's like, all right, cool. Husband's dead. Got this homie right here that I'm vibing with.
Yeah.
Gonna see where this goes. You know? Let him get a little taste of something. And then all of a sudden, the
hubby's home.
The good old ball and chain comes coming back, you know. And yeah, that's when I was like, oh shit. Because I love me some spicy shit, bro. I love me some conflict, some drama.
Yeah.
And that is like as dramatic as you can fucking get.
Well, I think what's good too is it's like there was already this sense in the air that like it was not something that would be okay. Both of them would already get in a lot of trouble.
Forbidden love.
As it is. If like when the circumstances were that fucking the husband was dead, right? Or quote unquote dead when they thought he was dead. It was already bad. Like they weren't going to talk about it out loud type of shit. And then it's just like a whole nother layer on top of that of like, he's still here. And he's a badass. And he's also very unstable and super duper scary. Like, that fool's crazy.
Yeah, this episode definitely shows like the darker side of like like, I don't know, just being devoted, like too devoted to like traditions and cultures, or not necessarily culture, but devoted to like traditions, right? Long-standing traditions that like really, when you put them down on paper, like don't really make sense.
Well, it's just old world ideas of thinking, right? It's a lot different. We're talking
the woman being like your property and shit like that. Like crazy.
Horrible things. We're talking what, like 400 years ago at this point, right? 1600s. Yeah, like a long time ago. So things were fucking bad. Like it was just every day was just a struggle to breathe. Like it was crazy shit, right? And so that's why I was saying earlier, I like that we are talking about both of these episodes back to back. Because like you said, it's the flip side of that. Like early on in the episode, it's great too. Because I love how they like lay the seeds for that idea super early. And they don't really like execute on them until later. Because like early in the episode, I think it's like right after the stuff we were just talking about. Fucking Toranaga is talking with his son, right? And they're on a hunting trip or whatever. And he brings up like a pheasant and he's like, go give this to the Anjin. And so fucking Blackthorn gets that shit and he's like, I am going to make you guys like this pheasant stew or some shit that like you guys are gonna love. Like we used to have this all the time, but you gotta let it sit out for a fucking week before I cook it or whatever. Which is, again, a very heavy culture clash for the very clean, like super prepped and like nice Japanese culture that they have there, right? Like, very, very different. They're
just oblivious of the difference between poultry and not poultry, and what you need to do with said poultry and said not poultry.
He's again, very, very old school shit, right? And so he is still coming to grips with like trying to get by with like the few Japanese words that he does know. And it's messed up because like he is coming from, I think, like a good place in trying to offer something that in his mind and, you know, back in London is, you know, like food is the best way to someone's heart, right? Yeah. He's trying to offer them dinner. Like he's like, I want to share. I've gotten to try all this stuff. Like I want to share something like of my home, blah, blah, blah. But because, he still sucks at Japanese, the only thing he can say is, if you touch the pheasant, you die.
Or he just says it's like forbidden. He's just like forbidden.
Well, he says forbidden, but then he also says because that's the whole reason why it ends. Well, not the whole reason why it ends up happening, but part of the cover of why what happens later is he says, if you touch, die. Like that literally comes out of his mouth, right? And again, he's just trying to get by. Like he doesn't mean it, right? Because he doesn't understand that because he holds this title And he has all these people who, in his mind, I'm sure have become like friendly maids of sorts, not realizing that within the culture and the title he's been giving, those are like his servants.
Yeah, he sees them as peers rather than like those are the people that are there to work for him.
Yes, exactly. Like and so
and they take their words very fucking seriously.
Yes. And so the episode goes on for a while and stuff happens, and we'll talk about the rest of that. But to wrap this little part of it up or whatever is eventually I can't remember if he was in the last episode a lot, but the older man, I think his name's Wujiro or something like that.
Yeah, Wujiro,
yeah. He is the gardener, and we get like a couple of shots of him and Blackthorn interacting. Obviously, they're not really like talking, but there's like some unspoken communication, or at least unspoken understanding that like happens between them. He's like, "Cool, you all right in my book, old man." Blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And then, again, the episode goes on. It's a week later at this point, so that pheasant is like fucking nasty, bro. Like
hella flies and shit like that. Probably maggots and stuff on there.
People in the village are talking shit and like saying that the house is cursed because of all this drama that's happening, and like how bad it smells and how he's always dirty, all this shit, right? And so come back all of a sudden and find out, oh, Ujiro's fucking dead. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, well, we couldn't, because of our customs and our culture, we couldn't fucking live with that thing up there anymore. We had to take it down. But you're the leader of this house, and you said if somebody touched it, they'd be dead. And so he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, he's dead. We killed him.
Fuji's like, yeah, I fucking killed him.
I took it upon myself to kill him. You said if he touched if we touched the pheasant, we died. And he's like, what the fuck, bro? He's
no,
like,
why did you ask me?
Yeah, and he's like, what do you mean? You said if we touch the pheasant, we fucking die, bro. Like, what do you mean? And like, again,
that's what you said.
He doesn't know, right? He's fucking, yeah. And it's just crazy. It's intense. It hits super heavy for sure. And before that, I think, right, there's another important part to talk about before we get into like, but is also, I think, a pretty cliffhangery ending for this episode 100%. For sure. But there's a lot of good drama and stuff. All of the things between Anjin and Mariko and Buntaro all come to a head.
Because they all have to live under the same fucking roof.
Because Toranaga, I think, is like, I don't know if he's oblivious, but he doesn't give a shit. Because he's like, I have a fucking clan and a nation and the heir to the throne to defend. I don't give a fuck about your forbidden love. I was like, you're living under the same fucking roof.
I think he doesn't really know until obviously all this shit happens.
Yeah, and then he comes up, he's like, there's a shadow over you.
He's like, hey, something's fucking going on here. But yeah, that is very important because one, we get to see how fucked up Buntaro is
he's an
to Mariko. And I think we got a little taste of that in like the first couple episodes. Yeah. Because when Mariko-sama is going with Toranaga to translate and stuff like that, Buntaro's like, why the fuck is she, like, why is she doing that? Like, is there no one else that, so he's really like just tripping out.
He doesn't believe that, because like we've been teased about it, but in this section that we're talking about right here, we finally get the reveal of Mariko-sama's like history.
Yeah, her lineage, the family that she comes from.
Yeah, and so, again, it's a different time, and so by their standards and their culture and stuff, that's like just a horribly unacceptable life to live, right? That like Mariko-sama is like still alive after like this apparent crime that her father committed, right? Which like, again, from a moral standpoint, I think it makes sense. Like in fantasy stories, like heroes who kill corrupt kings are lauded as like legends, right? Yeah. But again, within the culture and stuff like that, homeboy, they got punished really bad. We'll get to that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fucked up dynamic too, I think, because I think it also sheds a light on Blackthorn a little bit, where it's like, at first I think he's maybe trying to be noble, but then after a second, I think it more just becomes like a dick measuring contest.
Oh, 100%.
Because he's literally just like, this is how we drink in London. I've got a bigger cup than you do. I've got a bigger cock than you do. He's like, I'm going to drink more sake than you, motherfucker. Like, super, super fucking macho man bullshit all of a sudden between the two of them, right? And so it just creates this uncomfortable fucking shit where, again, both of them are essentially creating this like toxic shit where they're just gonna be talking about these women as if they are, like they are saying and shit, like they're just objects, like they're just property, they're not people in the room and shit, right? He's like his defense is so bad. He's like, where I come from, our wives may be our property, but we treat our property well. It's like, what the fuck, right, guy? Come
that's
on.
not that much better.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I get it. Again, he's supposed to be the noble one in this old world and stuff like that, but it's just kind of funny. And
that was like the hard thing. That was not like hard for me, but it's just like, it is. Again, yeah, they are making like the white guy to be out like this. Oh, yeah, he is so much more noble than all these other people and stuff like that.
I will say that what I do enjoy that this episode does, I think, is that like Mariko does turn the mirror back on him, right? Because like after all of this stuff goes down, and she has to explain her family history, which is basically, again, like I said, right? So like the father, the Taiko before the one who just died, became corrupt, right, and greedy or whatever, and so Mariko's father killed him because she was like one of his close like associates or like regents or whatever it was, because he was doing it for the good of the realm. Like homeboy was bad, but again, due to the culture and stuff like that, they were punished, and the punishment was that Mariko's father had to literally execute all of his family, his wife, all of his children, like whoever it was, and then commit seppuku.
Yep.
And kill himself. But Mariko was just married to Buntaro at the time.
Yep.
And so it wasn't in her hands anymore. She wasn't part of like that clan, I guess, because of the marriage. And so she wasn't like punished in the same way that everybody else was. And so she's forced to live in this like limbo of like wanting to, I mean, I don't know. I can't tell honestly right now if when she says I want to take action against this injustice, it means she wants to go fuck some shit up, or if she wants to kill herself. I really cannot tell.
I think it's more that
the seppuku, right?
Yeah,
that she wants to like complete the justice. She's like, I deserve to die with my family. Or
I think it's more so that one. Because
that was the vibe. That's the vibe that I'm leaning more towards as well. But like,
that's what I caught when she was like, I asked my husband permission on like the anniversary of every year, like on the anniversary of their death or whatever, if I can, take action against this injustice, and he's just like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That was the vibe I got too. I just don't want it to be that, I think.
I don't want it to be that either, but I think also just in like just everything that's going on that we learn about like the culture and how devoted they are to like specific things and stuff like that. Like I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
'Cause I don't know, like who is she gonna fuck up for that?
Yeah, I mean the old emperor's gone. Anybody who would have done that is like probably old or like not empowered.
And they're like, I didn't have anything to do
exactly.
with that.
Yeah.
So
but
I don't know.
So yeah, we get the family history. All that shit goes down that night. Very drunkenly, Buntaro fucking fucks up Mariko-sama and like hits her a couple of times.
So crazy.
Yeah, super hardcore. Fucking again, Blackthorn tries to get all fucking big macho guy or whatever, and come face me, blah blah blah, whatever. And then Buntaro, he is an asshole. I'm not saying that he's nice by any means, but I am curious as to whether or not that turn at the end of him like surrendering his sword and saying like fuck, I fucked up, is him feeling bad about what he did, or him being as well a slave to like the culture and customs of like, damn, Toranaga's probably gonna fuck me up if I don't apologize. I'm technically a guest of Anjin's house right now, and I disrespected Anjin, blah blah blah, whatever, right? I can't tell, cause again, he is an asshole, but like, he strikes me as like, again, it's hard to not do Game of Thrones comparisons. I'm sorry, but I could see Buntaro being like a Hound-like character, who's like a genuine piece of shit. But over time, or like a Nolan character, right? Like over time can like maybe do something to at least be not a total piece of shit. He might not be a good guy or anything like that. But I just couldn't tell. I wasn't sold either way.
Yeah, I think for me, the way I took it was he knew what he was doing, right? So he was going to go out there. He knew all these other people.
We're going to be watching.
So he's just like, okay, if I just do what I'm supposed to do, right? Oh, I disrespected your house. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Here you go. And all these people come out and see that, and they just see John Blackthorne fucking yelling and screaming at me.
Makes him look bad.
It makes him look way worse when I'm just sitting here like, hey man, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe I got. I can see a little of like, damn, I feel like a little bad that like I did what I did. He was like, because the sake, because the sake.
That's another good one too. It's like I like that there's these initial reactions to stuff, and then like something a little further than that, because like in a weird fucked up way again, because John Blackthorne is also not like a perfect noble hero. And I think we've learned hints of that already, and we will learn more of that too, I'm assuming. But he has this quick line where he just says gin in place of sake. And I think that's like a sympathetic moment of like, fuck, like I've done the same shit when I'm fucked up. Or he knows people who have done the same shit, like, you know, whatever it is, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, again, just like this, I like that there's these not super clear lines of like enemies and allies, because all of them are forced to be allies, obviously, and they very clearly are like at odds with each other. But there's also these moments of understanding between them that are like building up, and they're kind of, you know, becoming more... Maybe they're not liking it, but slowly more and more of the cast, at least on Toranaga's side, is becoming more comfortable with like working together with each other.
Yeah.
And I just like the way they're handling that. It feels, again, slow, like bit by bit, they're building these relationships rather than like telling us, you know, that all of a sudden this is how they're supposed to be.
Yeah. This episode, I liked the Falcon speech that Toranaga gave to his son. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. What does he say? He's like, all men are like falcons. Some of them will charge into the air and take out the first thing that they see, but some of them are lazy and will just go for the lure and like go the easy kill, basically.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I liked it because I mean it summed up as like, hey man, like don't let people like take advantage of you and shit like that. Don't let them trick you.
Yeah.
I'm the trickster. Yeah. Don't let people fucking trick you.
You know how embarrassing it is? Your father's the greatest trickster in the world.
And his son got tricked.
You motherfucker.
Yeah. You bring shame to this family name right now.
And he's still tricky, man, because, like, I don't know what his game is with promoting the fucking nephew to leader of the regiment, the cannon regiment.
To me, I took that as I think he knows that Yabushige is doing some shady shit.
Oh, yeah, he tells him all the time.
And so... Like, to me, that was trying to get him... trying
to rile him up?
Trying to rile him up and trying to see if he would break, like, out in the open like that. Yeah. Because he tries to throw his fucking nephew under the bus really quick. Like, oh, no, it was him. Like, I'll fucking punish him. And he's just like... Punish him?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. You know, and I think that's like that's how I took it. I was like, he's trying to fucking for sure. He knows what's going down, and I think he's like you said, he's known for like a minute.
Oh yeah.
So he's trying to play this. Yeah, he's trying to play this long game of like, I'm gonna fucking catch you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get you out in the open. Yeah. So
but I still need you right now.
Yeah, but I still need you. But when I get you out in the open, I'll
decide.
I'm gonna take you out, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. So that was good. But yeah, the ending of that episode was so fucking like, crazy.
All this stuff comes to a head, right? Everything we've been talking about, the culture clash of things, and like Blackthorn's basically like fed up. He can't deal with it anymore. So once again, cries and fucking runs to Toranaga and is like, hey man, I fulfilled my part of the deal. Just let me go, man, please. I just want to go home. Just give me my crew and my ship. We get the fuck out of here, right? And he's like, I don't care. He's like, you guys figure it out. He's like, I can tell this is a problem between you. I can't fucking deal with this right now. So he like walks away. And then a fucking hardcore earthquake hits, which is like a land mudslide fucking mountain crumbling level earthquake of shit. And the stakes are already high because everybody on that mountaintop where this conversation is happening, which is like the people who are like, I guess, main characters, right, is like Mariko Toranaga, his son, and Blackthorne. And so that's already a lot because it's like they're in danger and like shit's going down, right? And then fucking Toranaga goes off the side of the fucking cliff, bro. Like, just fucking goes into the sinkhole, and everybody's like, what the fuck? And then, again, you know, right off the bat, first person to go is fucking Blackthorne. Because, like, you know, he's talking his shit, puffing his chest out, being upset. But I think at the end of the day, he does respect Toranaga and owes him his life. So I think he respects that, right? And understands, like, fuck, I gotta save this dude. So dives off the edge of the cliff and shit. Barely fucking save his ass because like they don't see him, right? Blackthorne sees like his fan and he's like, he's around here, ding, and they just like all start fucking,
I'm John Blackthorne,
and
he's around here,
I found his fan. Where I come from, if you find a man's fan, he must be nearby.
In my culture, when you find a fan around, automatically you think, where is the owner to this fan?
He must be here
He
somewhere.
must be within a short radius
That is just
of
why-
where you find the fan.
At least that's how things are where I come from. But yeah, he
That's all
fucking,
the queen told me.
yeah. So they fucking find him, dig him up. He like barely fucking survived that shit, right? And then, honestly, the real heavy kicker, the fucked up shit, is they then look right after, you know, like a somewhat heartfelt moment. I thought it was nice of like, you know, a samurai can never be without his swords, right? Especially like the fucking leader of a clan and all that shit. And so, you know, Blackthorn gives him his swords and stuff like that. And even Toranaga's kind of like, you're an idiot, but thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You're sweet, blah, blah, blah. And they look over the cliff, and the fucking whole army that he just brought is just getting fucking mudslided into oblivion, bro. So, like, yeah, I think it was nice because the beginning of this episode with him walking up with the army and everything and all of that, like, feels like, you know, like, oh shit, okay, we're gearing up, like they have a chance. And then all of the infighting within the clan of the drama and everything, plus the fact that the army is fucked, is just like a real big setback. And I think it's the perfect place to be, like, halfway through the show, like, okay, they got to start their climb towards the end now.
100%.
Like, shit's hit the fan, it's time for them to get going.
Yeah. And I thought like the use of the earthquake was like really good writing, like to compare it to Invincible with the Secwoods, right? Like
the
earthquake is something like the setup was really good because it seems just like John Blackthorne's just getting used to this new place that he's in, right?
Like, oh, they
feels
have
a baby
earthquakes
earthquake.
here.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And Lady Monaco-san was like, oh, it was
That
earthquake.
was a baby
blah
wow.
blah.
Yeah.
And immediately it's just like I think it just goes to the back of your mind, or just like in one ear out the other, because it's like it's just him getting used to.
It's
this
like
new...
a joke. It's in that scene.
Exactly.
It's treated for laughs.
Exactly. But then you bring it back and you're like, oh shit.
Fuck.
Crazy ass earthquake.
Yeah.
Fucking earth splitting fucking
seriously.
earthquake. That shit. That was
awesome.
That was really, really good.
Super
Because
intense.
again, like Toranaga's there, they're like, oh, everyone stand still, blah blah.
Yeah.
And then you think, all right, everything's good. You know, you think, all right, we're fine.
Woo!
Just falls down
Yeah,
the
dude.
fucking yep.
Crazy.
And then after that, that's when we learned that they fuck.
Well, the ending after that, like, is they go back to Osaka, right? And then there's the reveal of the heir's mother.
Oh yeah.
Which is good. I'm sorry for all the Game of Thrones comparisons, but it's hard not to do it. It feels very Cersei Lannister to me, because all of a sudden she comes in and she's like, so I heard Toranaga's been fucking with you guys. And what's his name, Ishido?
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, but don't worry, like, I'll handle it. And she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to take over now.
Yeah.
She's like, until my son comes of age, I'm in charge now, motherfucker. You
Everyone
listening to
answers
me.
to me.
So I liked it. Like, super hardcore power move. And like, we haven't seen much of her aside from like that flashback sequence before, I think, right? So very different from what we saw in that scene. And I think very like surprising and like cool to see her just come in and be like, nah, bitches, I'm taking over now.
Yeah, really the only thing we've heard about her is like, what Toranaga is doing with blah 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 is so disrespectful. Like shit
and
like
that's
that.
it. Yeah.
And that's really it.
And she just comes in and she's a bad bitch. And she's like, nah, I'm taking over, motherfuckers.
So yeah, actually, you
listen
guys
to
all
me
answer
now.
to me now.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But yeah, I thought episode 5 super fucking good.
I agree.
Super fucking. It continued just like, you know, the end of episode 4 was crazy.
Yeah.
And then it just really like continued, like everything like really
they
ramped
picked
up.
up the steam. Yeah, they kept the steam going.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see episode 6.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where that's gonna fucking go.
Me
dude.
too. Yeah.
But yeah, Shogun, go and watch that shit.
Definitely.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
I didn't have ads on this one, so that was pretty
That's
fucking
good.
cool.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah.
And like I hate ads so much.
Ads are the
dude.
worst, bro. The worst. All right. Music time?
Yeah.
You know what
Bathroom time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Are we gonna start with?
I think we just, unless you have a different way how you wanted to do it, I think we just continue with the trend of going historically.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay,
gonna. That's what I was gonna
cool,
suggest. So yeah, as we previewed last episode, like we're gonna continue to do in episodes going forward. We're just gonna preview what we're talking about the next week. So last week we talked about, hey, we're not doing movies, we're not doing TV, even though we did a lot of movies and TV. We did a lot of TV today, but the main point of the episode is we're doing some music today. I really like sitting down with Daniel and talking about music. Obviously, you guys know we're pretty big music nerds. He is a musician. He does make his own music. I have produced and stuff like that, and I'm just a big music nerd in general. So I really like talking about music. And today we are talking about Control by SZA. and we're also talking about Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Dark Side of the Moon I have never heard. I've really never listened to Pink Floyd ever in my life. I've probably heard a Pink Floyd song here and there prior to listening to Dark Side of the Moon, but I couldn't tell you what the name was, honestly. And if I tried to tell you the name, I was for sure lying. So yeah, I was really excited to listen to this. Obviously, with Daniel giving it very much high, like a lot of high praise, I had a lot of, I wouldn't say high expectations going into this. I tried to go into this with no expectations, but I hear Dark Side of the Moon a lot. I hear Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon a lot. So I was like, all right, shit's probably gonna be pretty good. But I was definitely not prepared by how good it was gonna be. And a lot of you guys are probably like, what the fuck do you mean? You didn't know how good it was going to be. This Pink Floyd was... Again, I didn't grow up on this shit, you know? My parents weren't really listening to Pink Floyd. My dad showed me a lot of, like, 2000s and, like, late 90s rap. My mom was just a lot of other stuff, you know? And so, yeah, I never really listened to Pink Floyd. But, yeah, this album was pretty fucking great. I tripped out a lot during this album. I mean... You said, like, the transitional work is immaculate, right? And, man, I just didn't understand how good it was going to be. And, like, immediately upon the intro track to the second track.
Yeah.
And I texted you immediately.
Yeah, it starts off hot, man.
And like I said earlier in the episode, if you listen, I was at Barnes and Noble. And I was looking for some books. And I just popped my headphones in. And I was like, I'm going to start listening to this right now while I'm looking.
Yeah.
And you hear the first song. And it's just a lot of, like... just random shit. You get the boom,
yeah,
boom,
there's a long build up. It's like 30 seconds almost.
Yeah. And at the end of the intro, like, it comes to a crescendo, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it immediately leads into the second track with like a little like a little scream, and I was just like, oh. Yeah. Like when I was in Barnes and Noble, I can tell you my face was just like, oh.
Well, I
gotta listen to that again, and I pressed back on Apple Music, and I listened to the intro to the second track again, and I was like, damn.
It's so nice too, because it's just this like really tense build up that like almost like starts to get a little bit too crazy. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of noise. That screaming comes in, and then the fucking just like the beautiful like psychedelic wasteland that you get. Breathe in the air. It just gets so like nice after that.
It was so good because I mean that is the type of like when I'm listening to music, like the type of vibe that that second song is, which is Breathe In, right?
It's called Breathe. Yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah.
So that vibe with like those types of drums and like that type of instrumentation, like I gravitate towards that. Yeah. So immediately upon hearing the first 2 seconds, I was like, oh shit, this shit's fucking jam. Crazy.
Yeah.
And I think what I like most about this album, just in general, is how much like there is lyrics to this, right? And like everyone knows, I'm a big lyric head, so I like so it's like this album is not short on lyrics, 100%, but they are used in a good manner. Mm-hmm. They are definitely very abstract,
it's a
for
lot
sure.
Of music,
exactly, but it's a lot of instrumentation. Yes. It's a lot of musicality, and that's what I like. Yeah, especially from like albums. This came out in 1973. Yeah. Like I started producing in this era of music, so it is pretty. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's definitely easier than it was in 1973. 100%, right? 100%, We're not recording with tape. Everything is on a fucking laptop. You can literally click a couple buttons and everything sounds fucking beautiful.
Just even the access that we have to it is far different than people had in the 1970s.
Exactly.
You couldn't record with a 4-track unless you had like an A&M contract, probably.
So I'm always like blown away by the high quality of production that goes into albums like this, like with Billy Joel, like with the Beatles, and especially with this album. It's like, wow, people were really like just on some different shit back then.
Yeah, bro.
And a lot of people just probably didn't know.
They're
but
built different.
Fuck, dude, like just again, like just wrapping my mind around like what has to go into production like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, dude, these dudes were like this shit's different. Like
whole nother level.
They're obviously like experimenting with like synths and stuff like that, because synths really didn't become like ultra pop into like the 80s and stuff like that.
That's when they hit pop level. Yeah, for sure.
So like hearing those early experimentations like on tracks like Run, where it's literally just like, dude, that, like I loved that shit because I was in Barnes and Noble and I was like, dude, I feel like I'm in like a fucking video game right
bro.
now. And I'm just like,
you know what's great is I think if I'm not mistaken, I've like seen a behind the scenes video of them explaining it, and it's just an arpeggiator. So
that's
they're literally just like one button.
Talking about just pressing one button and doing shit. Dude, you can do a lot with that. But the production on this was great. Yeah. The transitions between each of the songs were immaculate. Like literally every song like led into the next. Yeah. And
I think there's one that well, actually, I think right around the halfway point there's like a relatively barren transition in comparison to the others, but it still feels nice.
Yeah. But fuck, dude, like I have nothing but good things to say about this album, right? Like,
yeah, it's intense.
The lyrics are obviously really good. You know, it talks a lot about, you know, especially when you get to songs like Brain Damage, like a lot of like depression, talks about money, greed, really good, you know, things and stuff like that. Money, I wouldn't say Money's like my favorite song, but it is good. Yeah. It is the most like lyric heavy out of all the other other tracks.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So I think just while I was in the groove of loving the musicality with the lyrics sprinkled in there, Money does feel like a very, I wouldn't say like jarring transition.
Feels like the single though.
Exactly. Like definitely feels like, oh yeah, these dudes were like, not that they're not talking about shit on other
no, but songs, it's more on the nose.
But they were more on the nose, very less abstract and more like, hey, this is obviously a song about money.
Greed, and power. Yeah,
and even like, I mean, even songs like Us and Them, right? Which is definitely a little bit more on the nose, right? That's definitely a song about like war and shit like that, you know? Yep. But I feel like is more like in line with a lot of like a lot of the other tracks. Again, not that Money isn't, but it is one of the tracks that is like, okay, this is a little...
It's more clear.
Yeah, a little bit more clear
cut, yeah. Yeah. It's funny too, because like that is I think probably one of the weirder songs in terms of like traditional pop songs as well, because it has like a really weird time signature to it. And I don't know if like, I'm curious if like subconsciously or not, maybe that's also why it's like harder to gravitate towards, is like, because usually you just get like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, right? But Money's fucking weird. Money goes boom ga ga dum boom 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 boom, and it's like, I don't know what the right like exact time signature is for it, but like it's funny because it's such a weird one actually, that like this is like nerdy music shit, so sorry, but like the guitar player who does the solo on like a lot of the lead work for them in general is David Gilmour. He's fucking awesome. He sings too. He's one of the vocalists for the band as well. I think he's actually the only guitar player, if I'm not mistaken. But he does the solo on Money as well. But like he had such a hard time doing a solo over that like odd time signature that if you listen, when they go to the solo, they actually switch back to like a regular traditional 4/4
just like
count.
A 4/4.
Yeah, just so he could solo over it, and then as soon as the solo's done, they go back to the other shit, because he was just like, nah, man, I'm not gonna do that. Like, just go back to normal for my solo, and we're good.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's like the odd time signature, because I do appreciate like a switch up, and like when I can tell someone's doing like a 3/4 and not a 4/4, like I'm always like, oh yeah, this is like nice. Here. Yeah. But I think it's just like, because again, like that's the most lyric heavy song like in the whole like album. So I think it was just that. Again, not that it's like a bad song at all. Like I still think it's a great song, but it is just one of the ones where I was just like, okay, this is like a little bit of a switch up from what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
But fuck, dude, everything was good. Like, fuck, I need to pull up the track list so I can remember the song. But
yeah,
like,
let me see. I was gonna pull it up too.
But now. Like, Breathe is for sure one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Us and Them, I feel like it's the same vein, kind of.
Us and Them is really good. I do like the one before the outro, which is like Any Color or something like that. Is that what it's called?
Oh, Any Color You Like.
Any Color You Like. That one's good.
Yeah.
What's like the...
Oh, I like Great Gig in the Sky.
Yes, that one. Dude, yeah. The vocals of it are crazy.
Just
Again.
and no lyrics, though.
I was listening to that in Barnes & Noble and just tripping out.
Just
on like...
homegirl getting down. Not even needing the lyrics. Just literally like...
I need to know who that is.
Dude,
bro.
she was crazy.
Who is that?
There's... I don't remember the details of it, but I'll try to find it and look it up because I think they're a few years ago, maybe even like a decade ago at this point, at some time in the 2010s, they did, I think, a documentary or at least like a bit from like BBC stuff about the making of this record, and they tell a story about her, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, they like talk to her and everything like that. But yeah, insane. It's just so good. It's literally bless you. It's just her getting down again, no lyrics, just fucking quite literally. Like people always say, like, and I agree, your voice is an instrument as well, right? But like this is the max level of it. She's like, I don't need words, bitch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
like,
anything.
Yeah, I'm just just getting
like,
down, bro. Yeah, shit's crazy.
And again, I love stuff like that. Like I love great vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's another reason why I love SZA so much. Like,
yeah,
just great vocalists or something that just like fucking tickles some shit in my brain where I'm just like, God damn, this is so fucking, this is so fucking good.
Well, again,
and accompanied by like all the music behind it. Like there's a fucking nice guitar that's going on behind it. Like, fuck, dude, like everything is this album is so fucking good. And immediately, like upon just my first listen, I was like, oh yeah, this is one of the best albums of all time. Like 100%.
Yeah.
Like there's no argument to it.
Yeah.
Like even if you don't like particularly like that genre, I mean, maybe if you don't like that genre, you're just not gonna like it.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Like
I feel like from a music appreciationist or like enthusiast standpoint, like at least on a production level, and I think just on a musical level as well, because again, tying all those things together as like one long piece, it's just very impressive. Like at the very least, it's hard not to be like, damn, how the fuck did they pull that off, bro? Like that shit is wild. It's a feat for sure.
I think even just like as a concept, right? Like a concept album of just like Dark Side of the Moon, all this shit that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like in life, you know, like
it's just so epic too, because like I love the outro when they're finally getting down, right? And it's like this big, victorious, like epic psychedelic march and shit, and they like name drop the album too. It's like, I forget what the line is before. It's like, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. It's like, oh shit.
Well, I mean, they even name drop it in I'm pretty sure they name drop it in Brain Damage, because a lot of that is talked about depression and stuff like that, and he's just like, hey, yeah, if all this shit goes down with you too, like, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It's crazy. It's definitely. I was telling you when we were like texting back and forth about it and stuff. It's like, I don't know if it's like the first or even like the very, very earliest examples of like this type of transitional stuff that we like, but it is certainly like on a full album scale, I think, one of the earliest to just do the whole concept of like, it's one piece basically, right? Like it almost doesn't stop. Again, aside from
I'm gonna find the One Piece.
Yeah, man, exactly. I'm gonna be king of the pirates one day. Yeah, but yeah. Fuck. One Piece is so good. Okay.
But like even like transitions from like Breathe to Run.
Yeah.
Which are completely different. Well, that's songs.
Yeah, that's another thing that
obviously they're completely different songs. But like just
vibe-wise,
they're on the complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
You go from low-key, chill, dope, psychedelic, like comfy vibes to like we're saying, just hardcore synth.
Like last level of a video game when you're doing like the hardest
you're fighting
fucking
Bowser,
shit
bro.
possible.
Yeah, like you're about to get down. Yeah,
and like just the way Breathe ends, just leading into that track, like it's just it's so seamless. It's like, oh yeah, this makes sense that. Oh, you would get into this right after Breathe.
The other one I like a lot too is Time, because Time just comes in. I mean, again, kind of on the nose, but like it's fun to see musicians translating to you their ideas through sounds rather than lyrics, right? Because like, not that lyrics are easy to write. They are fucking not. Lyrics are really hard to write, especially good lyrics. But like, it's a more clear form of communication than like audio is. And so the fact that they're able to just like tell you with all these like clocks and alarm things going off, like we're about to talk about time.
Talk about time,
and then
man.
it's just this slow build up too of the bow, bam, bam, bam. Like just they drag you out for so long, and it's just like these nice like. What I like a lot about the album is not only all of the different places that they are able to go, and it still all feels like under this concept of Dark Side of the Moon. Like none of it feels out of place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they go to so many different places musically, lyrically, no lyrics at all, just all over, right? But all of it feels cohesive, and like it's so insane how like not I don't want to say easy because I'm sure it was difficult to pull off, right? But like how easy they make it seem of like it's just they just doing this shit in the 70s, bro. Like it was nothing. Like just fucking crazy.
Again, just like just speaking on the production a lot more too, like the spatial like audio, like things like them using stereo very well, you know, and knowing where to pan things. Because I think that's something that's not necessarily lost nowadays, but because it's like so easy to carve out frequencies and EQs and stuff like that, it's a lot easier to not have to use panning and stuff like that. But going back to an album like this, where again the production is so on point, and them using the different pans and setting things different thing, giving you a better like spatial representation of everything, I think it's so beautiful. And again, I think it's something that's wouldn't say a lost art nowadays, but something that you don't really like see all too often. I think in terms of just like mass produced music.
Well, I think
producing music on like a grander scale.
I'm gonna say it is a lost art, but not because it's not that we're not capable of doing it anymore. I think it's what it is that those are the only tools that artists had back then, and so they were pushing those by today's standards, those very simple tools to their maximum and doing the most creatively with what they could.
Yeah, when you have less, you're forced to be more creative.
But because of the fact that it's very easy to just pan something left and right now, or like you said, chop out a very specific part in the whole like vibrational frequency of the song for it, like you do that shit with a single press of a button now. Those simpler tools that people were getting the most out of are now being left to the wayside of like, oh, we don't need those. Look at this fancy new thing that I have now, and I can do it so easily, blah, blah, blah. It's just that like, yeah, it always happens. It's the same as anything else. Like nobody's going back and trying to say that fucking the very first Call of Duty is better than like Modern Warfare or anything like that, you know? Because like we grow and we evolve, but it's nice to look back and just reminisce and see like, damn, that's crazy. Like, again, the historical context of shit, like that sounds to me like a record that could be produced today and it was done 50 years ago. Like that's half a fucking century ago, bro. Like, and they still pulled that shit off. It's just insane.
That's why I say like immediately upon like first listen, and it just more solidified my thought like second, third, fourth, fifth listen of like, oh yeah, this is like one of the best albums of all time. Is just like everything is so on point. And again, it sounds like an album that you would hear today, like with how precise everything is, with how good everything sounds. Like it sounds like some shit that would come out on a fucking Thursday night in fucking late October. You know? Like it just sounds so good. And I'm always baffled by shit like that because
they were still doing it back in the day.
They were just still doing it back in the day, and just being someone that grew up producing like on a laptop and just knowing that type of shit and and learning and knowing that, and it's trying
insane.
to picture in my mind how they were doing like,
it's impossible.
I'm gonna record this on multi-track fucking tape, blah 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 blah, and shit like that. And you're like, dude, what are you even talking? It's like a different fucking language.
No,
dude.
I'm the same way, and I was like raised on this type of music too. But again, on the production side of stuff, we grew up at the same time, so we had access to the same tools, and it's just like the amount of stress and like road blocked, writer's block, artist block that I would have of like, how do I even do that? How did you do that? What the fuck, bro? Like,
come and be like, hey mate, you just you see that pan button right there? Just
turn that bit to the left.
Just turn a bit to the left, and just when it sounds good, you know, like. And that's the other thing today, right? Like on a laptop, like I can have a preset of like,
I'm
gonna drop this in, and it's gonna be panned fucking 20 to the freaking right or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're making the songs, it's just like, all right, what is it? What sounds good?
Yeah, just keep going until it's...
Yeah, I know this song I used it
Yeah.
right here, but it just doesn't sound good with this song, so I'm just gonna nudge a little bit more to the right,
Yeah.
and fuck yeah, it sounds perfect
Yep.
right there. You know,
definitely. Yeah.
that just like it just shows more creativity. Honestly, like there was so much more creativity in
with what they have.
in music back then, and like what you had and how you were gonna use it, and like fuck, you know, I just got a guitar and a drum, and you know, we got let's learn how to fucking mic this shit up.
Well,
and,
it was also
you know,
new. It was the beginning of everything that we have now. It was the beginning of like electronification of music, and like having these different tones and these different synthesized sounds, and like different. It's just crazy because it's like it's the same thing we were talking about last time we did music, like we're talking about the Beatles and stuff. Is it's like these are things that are like taken such for granted nowadays. Like historically speaking, such a short time later. 50 years is a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, like classical music has been around for hundreds of fucking years.
Yeah.
And hasn't really changed that much. But in this short span of 50 to 100 years or so, like quote unquote pop music, or even rhythm and blues, I would say to a certain extent, right? Of its various different, you know, offshoots and stuff like that, has evolved like so much, and like such a fat chunk of every effect, every trick, every like preset that we have nowadays just comes from like everybody in this era just fucking experimenting and just like trying new shit and having a good time. Like,
and it's
invented this shit.
Yeah, it's so crazy too because obviously I follow a lot of like producers and like engineers and stuff like that, and a lot of them are like moving back to analog and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, shit sounds crazy, or like you can be like, not that fucking, you know, your laptop or anything like that like limits your creativity. Like obviously there's so much stuff out there, but it's just like your creativity is challenged on a whole different level with using stuff that's analog. Like stuff is literally like physically right there. Like fuck, how am I gonna route this? Like am I gonna route compressor to fucking this to this to that, or am I gonna go reverb to this to this? You
the
know what
order then starts to matter, and things will get affected in the chain of how you're setting up your effects, rather than just all of them latching on top of your sound and there not being a problem.
And again, like, not that that's not a thing you can do now. Like, I can go into Logic and be like, okay, I'm gonna fucking do this fucking differently this time or this time. But it's so easy to fall into the habit of like, oh, I'm just gonna do this shit this way. I'm gonna set up this preset this way. And all right, shit generally fucking sounds good. Back then, it's just like, all right, what am I gonna do here? How am I gonna mic up this guitar this time? How are we gonna record this? I have this idea for fucking a couple different things, and we just have tape. Just how am I gonna fucking do? How am I gonna do that?
Crazy shit. So like, I don't know if I think the more Beatles that you'll listen to, you'll hear it more and more. But Paul McCartney, for a British white man, had a fat fucking bass sound. Like that fool's bass is like iconic. Probably one of the best bass players of his era. But again, who would fucking think of this shit, right? But the way they did it was that they mic'd his fucking bass amp, and he played through it, and they recorded the song. But then they would do it with like relatively like clean tone. They weren't trying to get like fat bass out of it, right? So that you could hear the notes that he was playing. And then they would play the recording through a subwoofer and record that as if they were recording his bass amp, so that you got the tone and the clearness of all the beautiful melodic shit that he's playing, but you got the fat fucking thump of his bass as well. Like who fucking thinks of that?
That's how you know those fools were doing drugs, because like they were doing some shit and they're like, what if we just did this, right? Hey mate, like
what if we just tried it like this?
That's crazy all I did. Like see that subwoofer over there? Yeah. Like we're gonna do something with that, and
we're gonna just try it.
We're just gonna try
see how
it.
It shakes out.
And then it just works. And like, I told you.
Yeah, press the record.
Yeah,
press
the code.
Send the record.
We're gonna do this.
I think we've got to hit records, boys. Yeah,
you having a bad trip, do it, Cox?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, fucking last couple of fun little things to mention about Dark Side of the Moon before we fast forward to the modern day. There was a couple of ones that I wanted to mention, which was, first of all, we need to keep an eye out because I can't remember where. I think it's De Anza College or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But one of the college campuses close by has a fucking like small planetarium dome like theater. And I don't know if they're back. I hope they are. But before pandemic, they would do laser shows there. And it was to album. So I saw Dark Side of the Moon fucking laser show album there. Oh. And it's great. But they do all kinds of stuff. I saw a Queen one once. I saw a Led Zeppelin one there before. Like all kinds of shit. I don't know if they do modern ones or not. I don't even know if they're back. But we need to keep an eye out for those because that would be super fun to get baked and go to.
Fuck yeah.
The other one, which was a story I was starting to tell you earlier before I fucking got the phone call from my pops, but I don't know if it was at this time in their career or not, like when this album came out, but for a little while, I know at least, when Pink Floyd first started performing the type of music that they do, they were not super showboaty and very, very not public. So all of their concerts were filled to the brim with smoke machines and laser light shows, and you couldn't fucking see them.
Damn.
So like you would go to a Pink Floyd concert and like hear all of this music and like not even know what the motherfuckers looked like. That's playing crazy. It. Like it was just
cool though.
Dude, right? Like imagine that shit like in the 70s being high off some fucking seeds and stems ass weed, just like looking at this laser light masterpiece of smoke and shit and hearing Dark Side of the Moon and just being like, this is the God speaking to me, bro. Like, what the fuck, dude?
That's just so smart on like Pink Floyd's like
just helps with the ambiance of everything that they did.
Ambiance, like the mystique behind the band too. Just not knowing what they look like and just fucking with the music. You're just like, what? Like, you know, you go at home and you try to imagine what those fools look like.
Those fools probably could have went to the bar after and had a drink with everybody, and like
no one knew.
They'd be sitting there at the bar next to them, being like, "I heard he looks like this," like blah 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 blah.
What'd you think about the show?
Yeah,
did you have fun? It was a good show.
They're out there all band was fucking shit, weren't they?
Yeah, band fucking sucked, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little band.
We got a little band.
Yeah.
What are you guys called?
Not anything crazy, but you know.
Floyd's Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy, dude. Like that'd be so cool, man. Yeah. Oh, and then the other one again. Last little random, quick story time before I think we move. Unless you have some other stuff that you wish to say.
Oh yeah, I can say some more stuff.
Yeah,
I can say some more stuff.
Because I have a video to show you.
Oh, a video, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna show me a little thing on your phone on the telly.
Yeah. Okay. So I can't remember who, but for Christmas it's become a tradition that we buy my sister records because she likes she has a vinyl set up in her room and she has good speakers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we bought her Dark Side of the Moon one year, and she was playing it, and she had the window open, and so the sun was hitting the record, but it's like a red record, and so it was making this reflection on the wall.
Oh damn, that's crazy,
bro! And me and Meaty were like, "What the fuck, bro?
Fucking nuts, bro!"
Like, I'll send you this clip if you want to fucking lay it over the video or something. But so you guys can see what it looks like. But it's just this trippy reflection that looks like a fucking angelic halo of like cosmic energy shit, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, off the record, which is just cool. It's like vinyl's already such a like more, old school, like it's really in the record, right? Like you fucking put a needle to a record and you can hear it if you go close enough. Like you don't need a speaker, right? But like,
exactly.
Yeah, the energy's there, bro. So it's crazy. It's cool.
God damn.
Yeah, crazy shit. Yeah, it's such a good record. I love it. Has a lot of impact on me, my life, and just like the trajectory of my music making as well. I think in this everything that happened in this era, I love that time frame of like psychedelic rock shit. So your boy's a old 70s head about that shit.
Yeah, man. This is just a perfect album, honestly. Like, I have nothing bad to say about it. Even like, me saying like, "Money" for me wasn't like my favorite song, but it's just like it's not bad. Like it's just not bad. It's just like not the one I'm gonna go back to and listen. But like, at least for me, like as a music head and like a music nerd, like it's undeniable that this is just a perfect album in my eyes, right? Like other people might
if it's not your vibe,
disagree,
it's not your vibe.
But it's just crazy, man. Like production is on point. The songs are really fucking great. Mm-hmm. The music is really fucking good. I don't even like, dude, like there's just so much to fucking talk about. Like there's just so much on this shit that I can go on and on and on about that. Goddamn, bro. Like, you know, there's not many, like, I wouldn't say not many, but like, you know, the Billy Joel like shit, like I go back and listen to, but like I listen to like a few songs off of that and not like the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
Anthony works at the grocery store, saving his pennies for someday. Like that shit's hard. And then fucking Vienna's crazy.
Yeah.
But like this is one where I'm like, okay, I gotta go back and I'm just gonna listen to this whole album because this whole album is fucking ridiculous, and like every moment is just so good. Like again, going from the intro to Breathe to Run is fucking ridiculous because there's just like this build up and this ease into like this chill ass track. And then all of a sudden you're in Run and it's just like boom, 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 boom. We're on the fucking go.
Yep.
And then you get to songs like fucking Gig in the Sky and shit like that. And you're like, this is just some of the most beautiful shit I've ever heard in my life. And I didn't expect to hear it on this album. I don't even know what I expected this album to sound like, but I didn't expect it to sound like this. 100%. And just, again, being a concept album and being a very successful concept album is something that you don't really see nowadays. Like you don't see people doing concept albums and shit like that. Or if they do, like it's, you know, probably not as fucking good as this shit right here.
Yeah.
I really loved the album beginning and ending the same way.
Yeah.
I told you that too. Like with the build up of like the boom.
It feels very full circle.
Yeah.
Feels like
and then the end,
journey.
you fade out with the boom, boom. I was like, damn.
You could just cycle back.
Like, and that just speaks to like really sitting down and curating an album.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time of like sometimes music nowadays feels like the artist recorded a bunch of songs and said, okay, I like these
boom,
12
boom,
or 13 songs and I'm going to put these on an album, and they kind of sound pretty similar.
Yeah.
Which, again,
it's still the artist vibe.
Yeah, that's the artist vibe. It can work, it can't work, but I really appreciate, and I'll definitely talk about it more with Control, but like going in with like a specific like idea. This is what I'm talking about, and this is what I'm gonna give to you. Yeah, and it's just perfect, bro. It's just perfect. I have nothing bad to say about this album. It's perfect. 10 out of 10.
You know, it's crazy, and you can decide if you want to just go listen to it on your own or if you want to save it for another music episode. But they actually did it again. They have another insanely greatest of all time concept album called The Wall.
That's not okay.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. It's an hour and 20 minutes though. So it's a lot chunkier, a lot more depth.
Like double the time.
Yeah, has a movie that goes along with it too.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I said,
that's nuts.
Whether you want to tackle that on your free time or we could save that for another episode. You can do the whole journey again with a new album.
I'd be down to do both. I wouldn't really care.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy, bro.
Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Listen to that shit if you haven't listened to it. Because I'd never listened to it until this past weekend. And I was like,
I would kill, bro, to be able to hear it for the first time again. Yeah.
It was pretty, dude. It was pretty fantastic, bro. It was, again, just, I was in Barnes and Noble and heard the intro track. I was like, okay, like the intro, you know, like they're doing something. Again, albums nowadays. Intro track is just, you know, a song.
It's a catchy one. Probably the most catchy.
A song that's gonna get you ready for the album.
Yeah.
Or this is that. This is like this isn't a song. This is a track.
Yeah.
This is something. This is a precursor to what the fuck you're about to hear.
It's the beginning of the adventure, bro.
It's the very beginning. Yeah. It's freaking, if you've ever been to the boardwalk in the fucking Giant Dipper, it's that little fucking little
the
tunnel
one that starts you. Yeah,
that little tunnel. That's a little like, oh shit,
100%.
And then you go into fucking
all the highs.
Man, dude,
yeah, great album.
So fucking good, so good.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, listen to that shit.
Definitely.
Especially, I got my new headphones and I was listening to that shit.
That's right. On the brand new AirPods.
That shit sounded so good.
Yeah,
that shit sounded so good.
Yeah.
Just tripped out hardcore in Barnes and Noble. Didn't listen to the whole thing of Barnes and Noble, obviously. Like I wasn't gonna stand in there for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I probably could have, and people wouldn't have thought otherwise. But I wasn't gonna do that. Yeah. But listen to it, and I wasn't even stoned when I was in freaking Barnes and Noble or anything like that.
And it still gets you.
I was tripping.
The music gets you high.
The music gets me high.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, what do you, is this album like a perfect album to you as well? Like,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Especially just because of when I listened to it, because like I probably first heard this when I was like in my like early teens, like 14 or something like that, maybe like 15 years old. It was like right when I started high school. And at that time, I was like obsessed with this era of music off of like the Beatles and like Zeppelin and stuff like that. And like, yeah, I think that like Pink Floyd there's so much stuff again that I think the type of effects, the type of like ambiance, and the type of just like vibe and feel and like ethereal magic that you can take for granted nowadays, that just like sounds like a cool beat, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The fact that they,
that shit's fire, bro.
Yeah,
that shit's fire.
you know, this is just like fucking game changing, bro. And it's just so crazy to me, and it's why I like have such a hard time, I think, coming to the modern day of stuff, at least for like the wider range of like things that are produced now, not like the special ones or anything, obviously. But it's just like, yeah, it's really hard of like, I mean, there's not a lot of music that, well, I won't say that, but I have a bad memory from everything before like high school for the most part, like all of elementary school stuff. So like when things really started to have an impact on my life that I can remember, it's like around that time. And this music and this era and this band and a lot of other bands like them are like, for sure. I said this last time, I think, when we listened to the Beatles stuff and like the Billy Joel stuff, but like I forget because I am trying to be more interested in like what's happening nowadays, but I forget that like this is my fucking shit, bro. Like this is what speaks to me the most, for sure.
Your
like,
shit's your shit, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, but yeah, you know, and I think like that comes off for the most part or whatever. But like it just feels so right, dude. I love it so much,
and it makes sense from listening to the albums that you've shown me. Like it makes sense for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just there were some of them that hit back then, man. They were just on another level, dude. It's crazy.
You, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, shall we crack open our last beers?
Yes, sir.
The last of it?
Yes, sir. The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
The last of these albums.
We're talking about 2017. SZA. Control. So I want to hear your thoughts first, because I introed the Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
So I want to hear what you thought, because obviously this is the album I brought to you.
Yes.
I wanted you to listen to it.
Yeah.
This is, again, I think to me another perfect album as well. Just because it is just like super impactful for just
same shit,
just
like,
women, you know, in general.
Yeah.
But also like just for a general audience that can take just the general themes from this album and apply it and be relatable to your own life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So curious as to what you think of this album.
I think I started to explain it to you earlier, but I think one of like the initial.
We cheers this already?
Yeah, but you want to double cheers?
Let's double cheers, dude.
Hell yeah, brother. One of the first reaction that I had to it was like, holy shit, I do know this album. What the fuck? Which is like usually kind of crazy to me because like, again, I don't remember a lot of stuff from nowadays. So I think from like an outsider on like the modern day stuff, I think that already starts to speak of like the impact that it had, that it's like that recognizable and like that crazy of. I think also too, it's we've done it again, man. It's like it's also another concept album, right? Like I think that's the link between these two. And what was cool about listening to this album this time, even though I have heard these songs before, is I feel like I never really like felt the songs before. And just because of life and, you know, things that we have talked about, like it hit on a completely different level for me this time.
Yeah, dude.
And so I think it was nice because it was one of the first times where like first let me start by saying, because what I'm about to say next, I don't want it to get confused. I really, really like the music on this album. I think a lot of the beats and composition, and the first song doesn't even have a fucking beat to it. There's no drums, which is awesome. End. It's great. Yeah, until the very, very end. Yeah. But like the majority of the song is just like them vibing, right? So there's a lot of cool things that happen musically that I enjoy. But it was cool that for like the first time in a while that I felt drawn more to like the message of what was happening like lyrically and like what she was talking about. Again, just because it just resonates with me more right now at this time. And so It was cool. It was definitely like, I was like tripping out because like I listened to some of it on my own, and then I finished listening to it with my sister because I told her that I was listening to it, and she's like, "Oh, put it on." Like, she's like, I'll listen to it with you right now," and I was like, "Okay." And it was crazy because like again, it just like reminded me of like the time frame of this because she's singing these songs, and it like took me back, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like of course this is probably where I know it too," because like she was singing them all the time and blah blah blah. But then again, just to have like the different layer of it and like feeling the just everything in the song like a lot, or in the album a lot more. And like I think one of the ones that probably hit me the most was what's it called, the I just keep him satisfied through the weekend. What's that song
you
called?
Like that? The Weekend.
The
you
Weekend.
Like 9
Okay.
to 5.
Yeah,
I'm the Weekend. Dude, that
Okay.
one's so crazy,
So,
bro.
That is already one of my favorite like modern pop songs, but the version that I was expecting is I guess a remix, which is like the dancey version of it. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
It's just got a more upbeat to it. That's what I have heard the most, because like I have probably been exposed to most of these songs like either in a club or like at the shop or something where we're like, or when we were like, you know, jamming out or whatever. But then it hit and it was the slow version. Or the regular version.
Girl.
Yeah.
How you want me? Why you want me when you got a girl?
Dude, okay, but like it was crazy because like I was like, oh wait, hold on. These are not just like catchy lyrics to put to like a pop jam that has a good dance beat. Like this is actually some real shit, because that's how it felt. Thinking in my head, again, not knowing that this is the original version, that like I thought that was the main version of the song, right? It was the fucking I just keep him satisfied through the, you know, like fucking dancey and shit, like club vibes or whatever. So it was definitely a trip to hear it in like, again, its original context and be like, oh fuck, wait, this song's about some shit. This is not just like a dance song. Like what the fuck? Like it just felt, I felt everything coming from. They were always good pop songs in my memory, but I definitely felt everything a lot more coming through this time. And yeah, it was a different experience for sure.
Fuck
it
yeah,
was
dude.
cool.
I'm hella glad.
It was
that
cool.
actually puts a big smile on my face, because I know you, and I know you're not like, you're like, you always say, you're like, I'm not the biggest on lyrics, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that like they really like cut through, and you're like, oh yeah, she's saying some like, because every song she's saying some like crazy shit.
Yeah.
And there are some songs where she gets more abstract, but for the most part she is very like, I'm telling you my experience. Yeah. It may not be right or it may not be wrong, but I'm just honest. But it's honest. Yeah. And I think like that's what was missing in R&B around that time, was just like this straight brutal honesty.
Just turn to another pop genre.
Yeah.
That you could produce easily.
Exactly. And it like again, just like being brutally honest and being like so relatable.
My heart's broken, bro. Let me tell you about this shit really quick. Like,
exactly. And it's like, fuck, everyone's gotten their fucking heart broken, you know? And it's like, you can sit there and you can be like, damn, yeah, I've felt this shit before, right? R&B has always been rooted in like, I'm going to tell you about I'm really going to tell you about like some story type shit. Yeah. And it might be kind of sad, but it did for a little bit like go into that sort of like pop-ish like where it wasn't really, not that it wasn't R&B, like we've talked about this, like R&B doesn't have like one specific sound, like it has evolved over time. But
what I like the comparison you made earlier of like the, I guess like late 90s early 2000s R&B of like some Boys to Men type of shit.
Yeah, where people are singing their fucking hearts out,
but it's like that modern pop sound still.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah. And man, she like, fuck, dude, this album's so good. Like it's so good. She talks about so many things, like again, like from Supermodel, right? Like that was like a story on that song that was actually like a letter that she wrote turned into a fucking song. Like,
cool.
Straight up like did that shit.
That's cool.
But also coming from like a feeling of like insecurity, like, you know, I can be your supermodel if you see it in me, because like I don't see it in myself. But like I will, like if you see it in me, then cool, like I'll be it, right? And not like being that for herself, right? You know, and I think that is like a good message throughout the album, which is what control is, right? There's only a certain amount of like control that you have in your life, right? And at a certain point, you just have to give it up, and like you just got to be happy with like with that shit, right? And there are songs that like, you know, she talks about like, you know, like being more fucking like she does have like some songs that are like more like body positive and stuff like that, but other songs where she's like a little bit more insecure and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what I like most about it, man. This is just like the brutal honesty. I mean, you know me, like I like shit like this, and like it just really is. It's one of those ones that I think will transcend like just generations, you know? Like it's always going to be one of those ones that, because she's talking about real experiences, those experiences are always going to be relatable to people, because people are always going to be going through that shit.
Those things,
people are going to be insecure. People are going to be fucking happy with who they are. People are not going to be happy. People are going to question who they fucking are. People are going to question fucking what love even like means to them. Like
definitely.
with songs like The Weeknd, right? Like she is like, oh yeah, I'm down with being with this dude's side chick, but that's only because like I think that this is what love and shit is, and like what like, you know, like I don't know shit, you know.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's great. It's like, again, like not saying she's going on there and not saying she's right or wrong, but it's just like
this is my experience.
This is my experience. This is what I feel. And like, fuck, dude.
You're like, damn, me too though.
You're like, damn,
oh shit, I've been through something like that.
It.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. You just really think about it right now. It's like, it is kind of wild, because it's like we are talking a lot this episode, or at least in the music part so far, about like just like the timeline and the history of stuff, right? And it's crazy that like kids in our position in the 2100s are gonna be like, bro, you never heard that classical shit before? That SZA from like the early
Weeknd?
Like
you never heard The Weeknd before?
You never heard, like, it's like from the 20s, like even before the 20s, bro. Like way back then. Like that's crazy. Like it's such a trip. Like all this stuff happened. Like it is, I think, like in general, I can have a tendency to like get down about like, oh man, stuff sucks compared to like the old days or whatever. Just because I'm an old head about stuff, you know, I get very nostalgic about things. But things like this and like a lot of the other albums that you've showed me in general, but also the ones we've talked about on the podcast so far, I think like kind of like reinvigorate my like hope for the future of stuff. Because it's like, damn, that's crazy though, because like think about how impactful and crazy certain things have been, and in a grand scheme of things, right? Like what we were talking about of the previous era of like Pink Floyd and all that stuff, that was midway through their century of music, from like where shit was in fucking 1900, right, to fucking 2000. This is only a quarter of the way in. Like we're at 20 years of like the evolution of music this time around. Like to imagine like of where, like, it's again, it's like stuff like this every once in a while where I'm like, all right, hope's not dead, baby. Like we got some good shit. Keep fucking pushing forward. Like you're saying earlier, right? It's like there are certain people who just like kind of spearhead the push to like be like, nah, motherfucker, this is what music should be about. It's just like pouring your as true and as honest as you can be, as far as like even you as an individual understand it of yourself. Maybe like you said, it's not right or it's not perfect or whatever, but just as best you can to like express that in a way that is like relatable. But then just the fun part again about R&B through the years and like popular music in general is like, but it's also just a fucking vibe, bro. Like it's just a fucking jam, like just fucking bops that you can just like, it's just such a special, like, I don't know. I feel like there's, when you look at impactful things in like other mediums, they're not always like, I'm not going to say always, but sometimes the harder shit is not always like enjoyable, right? Like if you were to make a very intense movie about the type of stuff that SZA's talking about in this album, it'd probably be kind of a hard movie to watch. It'd be like more of the, like, you know, a more difficult drama that's like, ooh, damn, they're going through some hard shit and everything like that. But like music has a special like cross section when it does stuff like this sometimes, where you can deal with heavier subject matter like that or whatever it might be, but also like feel uplifted at the same time because of like the music that goes along with it. And it's just like such a trip, bro. Like I couldn't get, and like it was, like I said, it was just a different experience this time, because like I felt like this is again the first time in a long time, Like, and I would say for sure the first time this decade so far, since like 2020, even though I guess it came out in 2017, so I'm just late to the party. But like for sure the first time that like I have like resonated with something out of like the modern day where I'm like, fuck, I feel that, bro.
Yeah.
You know? Like a lot of stuff doesn't always hit it for me just because it's not my experience or it's not something that I'm familiar with or something like that. Not to say that that's fine. It just happens, you know? But it is, yeah, it was just different. It was a trip for it to hit for me different. For something of the modern day to hit for me, like what I crave out of like the old school stuff, you know? Is different for
so much shit, bro. Like I love like we've been talking about just like the brutal honesty in her shit. Like that is translatable to men and women, right? Like I think one that I was thinking about right now was just like in Drew Barrymore. Like the opening line is why is it so hard to accept the party is over, right? Like, why is it so hard to accept something that's done? Like, you know something's done, but it's hard to fucking accept it, right? And then it's, you came with your new friends and her mom jeans and her new friends and she's perfect and I hate it. Like fuck, bro. Like, it's real. Like, you know, if you've fucking broken up with someone, right? And then all of a sudden you see them in the spot with fucking their new dude or their new girl and they're fucking... Fuck, dude, that dude's a cool ass fucking dude, bro. Like it's a hard thing to fucking fuck. It's a hard thing to fucking swallow, bro. You know, and like it's real bringing shit like that to the table, you know, or even songs like prom and stuff like that, where she's talking about like being young and growing up and like the freaking the hardships of growing up or the fears of like growing up and shit like that, you know, and maybe not being perfect right now, but being like, I promise to get a little bit better when I get older. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, fuck, dude, like it's a crazy, there's so many crazy things that she fucking talks about on this album, you know? And then to 20 something, right? The outro track, like that's like, you know, she's not talking about like, you know, she's obviously talking about her experience, but like, you know, just being a 20-something-year-old and like it's just, shit's ending or like, you know, certain things are ending in your life or things are beginning and the uncertainties of like, you know, newfound adulthood and stuff like that it's a scary fucking thing.
Oh, big time, bro.
And she's talking about it and you're like, fuck, like
it's just such it's such a good like note to end on as well across the whole album, because everything has been leading to like that evolution during that time of your 20s, right? Like that's I mean, I'm sure to a certain extent people a little younger and like maybe a little older still experience those types of things, but they're like more common, like especially in your 20 somethings, right? And so it's just like, I don't know, it's just such a nice little fucking send off, you know, to just be like, this is just what it is right now. Like that's part of being in your 20 somethings. Like that's what life is about, right? Like you're saying, it's like you go through and you learn shit and you experience things and you have to take them for what they are and try to like, you know, just be as honest with yourself as you can about what it means and what it is. And it's crazy shit, bro.
That's me, Miss 20 something. Dude, these songs are so good. And like it's such an important album also, just like for women. Like there's so many like friends that I have that are women that like talk about this album. Like shout out to the homie Emily McMath. Like I had this album and also Malibu by Anderson .Paak that I was deciding between. And I couldn't figure it out, and I texted her. I was like, hey, like we're doing this on the podcast next week. I have these two albums. I really can't decide. I need you to fucking pick one.
What do you think?
And she was like, Control. And I was just like, all right. Like because she was like, they're both hella good. She's like, but Control I can talk about forever. And to me, that sold it for me as well, because you know, like this came out in like the midst of like, you know, women empowerment and stuff like that. And this is such like a good soundtrack to that, I would say, because it is so honest and being like talking about things like something like Normal Girl, right? That song, I wish I was a normal girl. Like, you know, I am this way. I am the way I am. I wish that I could fucking fit into societal standards and shit like that, but hey, this is how I am, right? You know? And I think that's so fucking important, because like someone like her, like saying these things, like being this big, like strong, black, like beautiful, like black woman, like it's fucking great, bro. Like I love her. I love SZA. she is like transcended into like the upper echelon of artists where like,
oh yeah,
when SZA's doing something, the world fucking stops.
checks it out. Oh yeah,
and is like, oh, SZA just dropped a collage of pictures on fucking Instagram. I gotta go fucking check that shit out. You know, like shit like that. And it's
trying
just
to
like
investigate all the details to see if you can find the next release hint.
Exactly. And it's because she's done tracks like this and being so honest, and like it's crazy that this album almost never fucking came out because she was like,
you're talking about that earlier.
She was just so anxious and just like so scared of like about shit, right? And like this is such, I wouldn't say like a switch up from her other like mixtapes and stuff like that. But the music she was releasing previously was like much more abstract, you know, like not really hitting stuff like on the nose. Like maybe you have tracks like here and there, but like this where like every song is like, you can tell what she's fucking talking about, you know? And man, it's crazy that this almost never came out, but the through line between these first 3 albums that I've picked with To Pimp a Butterfly, Sylvia Demo, and Control, all 3 of those were TDE artists at the same time.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
Top
right.
Dog Entertainment or whatever. They were all in the same.
I remember you said that was the last 2. Yeah.
They're all in the same label. So like, at a certain point, they're like, "Hey, no, we need these songs, and we're gonna fucking put them out."
Yeah,
and they did, and it literally catapulted her to like, fucking
huge level. Yeah.
She wasn't SZA yet, but after this, like, she became SZA.
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah.
But
fuck, that's a good through line. Mine's just that those fuckers are old.
That's fine.
They came out a long time ago.
That's fine, and they're all big staples in music. Like,
definitely.
Ever since I've like, obviously I've always heard Beatles. I've always heard Pink Floyd. I would hear Billy Joel here and there, but now ever since I've listened to Billy Joel, it's like, oh, when someone says Billy Joel, I notice and my ears freaking perk up. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, man, like SZA's just so fucking great, bro. What were your favorite songs? Like, if you could pick like some of your favorite songs, like 3 to 5 of your favorite songs.
Well, I liked the intro a lot. Like I told you, the first song, just because I think it was. I could
be your supermodel.
What's
you city?
I just like that.
Sorry,
it's okay. Fucking sing it, bro. It's okay. I just like that in a era that we live in that is very beat heavy. A lot of the things that I think people will like latch onto first is like the beat, like the rhythm of something. The decision to open your album without that for like the majority of the song is fucking dope to me. Like immediately that already pulled me into the album. So that's just a great start. After that, 20 something is my favorite song, or 20 something is my favorite song. I would say that's probably second. And then I do also really like, what's it called? Doves in the Wind.
Doves in the Wind.
Yeah, I do really like that song. I'm not going to lie. Just because, again, I was laughing at the whole time in like a really like, again, just like fun way, right? Because again, it's being brutally honest about like, you know, pussy is not, I was gonna say pussy is king, pussy is queen, bro. Sorry, excuse me, right? But like, again,
straight up,
just being fucking straight up about it, right? And like already the concept and like the lyrics and just how catchy everything was already cracking me up. But then Kendrick has his like verse in like the middle of it or whatever, right? And like, bro, I was literally like laughing my ass off in like such a good way where like I don't
pussy.
Yes, I don't remember what the lines in between are, but just the variations of those are my favorite. Pussy.
Lose their mind for, wine for, die for, pussy.
Pussy. Yeah.
Pussy. See no color lines for pussy.
That shit just had me, bro.
Pussy can be so facetious.
Dude.
The heavyweight champ.
Yes.
Pussy is so undefeated.
Yeah, bro.
It's amen to that.
Yeah, bro. That shit's too good, bro. I was cracking the fuck up, dude. It was good. Yeah, this is, I would say those are probably some of like the top tracks. And then again, just like how you're saying too about like Money Before, that's not to say that like any of them are bad in any sense like that. Because honestly, I do think that it's a very, very complete album. Like from start to finish, I don't think there's any drop off, which is hard to do. A lot of the times, even on some of the best, there's like 1 or 2 where like you get lost a little bit, you know, but to have somebody's attention the whole time for the full 40 minutes, or I think it's like around 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, I think it's like 49.
Something. Yeah. It's fucking hard. And there's bangers all around the entire time. Again, like I was saying, there was not a single, aside for like, I think like 3 songs, there was not really any that I didn't already recognize. So I was like, fuck, holy shit. Okay, wait. I was telling you, I was like, I listened to the first song and I was like, oh wait, I do know this song. And I listened to the second song, I was like, fuck, I do know this song. Holy shit. And then I listened to the third song and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't know this song. But then the hook comes in and I'm like, nope, oh fuck, I know this song too. It's just, yeah, I can't like, I don't know. I can't talk about it too much without getting into the details of stuff, right? But like, it just hit different for sure.
I feel you.
You know, you know what I mean, bro.
Yeah, no,
you know
I
what I'm talking about, dog. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
It hit different, bro. It was just a different fucking level this time for sure. And
what is it? Was it a good time for you to pull out an album like this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a good time for you to pull out an album like this. So thank you, bro. Yeah. Fucking A. No, yeah, most definitely. I think because like I think. This is the type of album that when it hits at the right time, I think can help you deal with the type of shit that you're going through in your life. I'm sure at another time along, the timeline of whatever kind of progress or healing or whatever you want to call it that you're making, it can hit in a lot of different ways. But like, yeah, where it hit for me was definitely some therapeutic shit for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah, man, it was different for sure.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Nice.
It was good.
Yeah, this album. So I like, it's hard for me to like pick like favorite songs from this album because I really like all of them.
It's hard.
But I would say like 20 something's up there for sure. I think Supermodel, like you said, like from listening to it, I'm like, okay, yeah, this one, like, not that I never thought it was crazy, but it's just like, again, just like listening to it like more in depth and being like, okay, let me study this album.
Hearing the concept of
this episode.
Too.
Yeah. And like Normal Girl, I really like because it's like, it's just a really like, it's, the honesty behind that song is, I don't know, it's something that as a man, right, you don't really think of.
Sure, yeah.
And I think that's why I like albums like this, because it like helps you understand like what women go through and shit like that, and like something like that, like wishing you could live up to these societal standards that fucking society fucking puts on you is a tough fucking thing, right? And like, yeah, maybe, I don't know if we have to deal with that as dudes. We probably fucking don't, but like women definitely have to deal with that shit way fucking on a bigger fucking scale, and it fucking sucks, you know? So like hearing shit like that like is nuts. Prom is definitely one of my favorite ones too, because I like the beat to that. And yeah, it's just it's a catchy song too.
Drew Barrymore's super good too.
See, Drew Barrymore,
that's what's hard, is it's like you can literally say that the same praise that we are trying to give to like each of these songs individually can be said about every single song on the track. So like, it's really every single one brings the heat when it comes to the music. Absolutely opens up and just bleeds for you to see when it comes to like what it's talking about. And it's just overall a fucking like bop.
Just a bop, dude.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's hard. It's insane, bro. It's just it's easier to say that this is one of my favorite albums than try and tell you what are some of my favorite songs from this album. You know? Yeah. It's just easier to be like, all of it.
Standout lyric for me on the whole album always is Travis Scott saying, "Let me come inside you, let me plant my seed inside you."
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
I like that.
for sure. Yeah.
Shouts out. But yeah, that one's always fucking funny. But I mean, SZA in general just has so many fucking great lyrics on this album, so many great lines. Like, I mean, like I said, like the beginning to Drew Barrymore is fucking crazy. Just fuck, dude, like everyone crazy. Like,
The
Weeknd, you like 9 to 5, I'm the Weeknd. Like, oh fuck, make them lose his mind every weekend. Like, dude, you take Wednesday, Thursday, then just send them my way
for the weekend.
Think I got it covered for the weekend.
Yeah, bro, crazy shit.
Yeah, Love Galore is a crazy one. Dude, yeah, they're just all crazy, bro. Go Gina is for sure another one.
Oh, yeah.
Go Gina. Go Gina. Especially, like, because I was sitting there and reading, like, the first and second verse, right? And, like, it's such, like, it speaks to, like, how good the writing is, too, like, on the album. Like the beginning of the song, like, coming from the perspective of SZA being like, damn, this chick's being fucking hella shady. Like, this chick's talking hella shit, doing all this shit because of probably the people she's hanging out with. Meanwhile, I'm just with my fucking just with my high friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're fucking too stoned to pay attention, you know?
Yeah.
And she's telling her like, damn Gina, like, hey, you need to fucking kick back, bro.
Yeah,
Like, chill
relax
out.
a little bit.
And you know what the damn Gina's from, right? Like the Go Gene, like that shit.
Yeah.
Like what it's referencing.
Yeah, it's like an old TV show or something.
Martin,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Martin.
the Martin Lawrence show, right?
Yeah, because every time he would say like, damn Gina, it's like when she's like, he's like, oh damn, this chick's fucking tripping out, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where she's saying like in that first chorus when she's saying like, go Gina.
Yeah.
Damn Gina.
Yeah.
You need some get right, mama. Like, hey, like you need to kick back, bro. Like you need to not worry about fucking me and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then the second verse is her talking about how she like fucking doesn't give a shit. And then the go Gina and stuff like that, which is a very much like a hell yeah, like fuck yeah. Don't give a fuck about any of that shit.
Yeah.
And I like that, dude, because it's a catchy song.
Yeah.
But when you read into it, like what she's fucking saying, like it's so fucking good.
Well, it's just cool when stuff has a turn like that, you know? Like I always like when like I feel like sometimes you can pull it off with like the same lyrics twice in a row and you just give it a different vibe, right? Or like a hook a second time or whatever, but like the context is different with it. But when you can pull a turn like that, right? Of like we're still talking about the same thing, but here's a new perspective on it. It's just it's like that's hard to do. Like that's literally like poetic shit. Like the turn is like a poem term, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which is like literally like the line that recontextualizes the whole rest of everything that you read. Like that's like, yeah, that's serious writing chop shit right there, bro. Like that's not just catchy stuff, like you said. Like that's hard to do. It's hard to be as honest as this is and still be as like, because honesty is not pretty, right? Like real shit is not fun to talk about. But the fact that you can have fun singing like any and every one of these lyrics is crazy. Like the because everything behind it and just how, because the other thing too that's so cool, right, is it's like it's not even just necessarily a testament to like how good she might be on like a talent level or like a practice level or anything like that. It's also just of like it's just her, like and because it is so honestly her, there's nobody else who can do it like that. So it becomes very unique, and then it goes into that level of like, nope, that's just SZA, that's just her. Like even if somebody else tries to sound like this, somebody's gonna say you're just trying to sound like SZA.
Oh, yours is a clone.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it just puts her in a different level of stuff, man.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, Control by SZA. Go and check that out if you have not. Definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. Again, another perfect album. I think both of them are perfect.
I would agree, honestly. I would say it's another I would say for me now it's a perfect album. And it's one of I don't know. I don't know if it's like of one of my top 10, but of now it's my top 1. Like of anything from nowadays, it's just crazy.
Like it just set the bar for you. Like that's
definitely. Like now this is like anything else you show me after this has to be like
I'm gonna have to come with it.
It's got to at least be here. It's got to at least be here, bro.
I got some in the tuck, bro. I got some in the tuck.
Okay.
Don't worry about
All
it.
right, good.
But yeah, SZA by Control. Go and check that shit out. Tell us what you thought about it.
Yeah.
Did you like it as much as we did? I hope you did. I mean, I
think you did.
I'm pretty sure
from the
you
stats,
did.
just from the records alone. Yeah, you probably did.
Yeah, it spent 335 weeks on Billboard Top 200.
Yeah, that's
which is nuts.
6 years, more or less. 5.5 years, maybe 5 years.
Yeah, and just like a month or so ago, it topped at like 35. So like it was in the top 100.
Like fucking 8 years later, or 7 years later.
Damn,
Crazy.
just wait till you hear her next album, bro. You probably heard her next album.
I've heard, because it came out, I think, during the time when I still worked. Ago. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to need to re-listen to it again because like it was just, again, one where like I do know a lot of the songs from it and I like them, but I didn't listen to them like I listened to this time. So I'm going to have to go back for sure.
I'm happy to tell you that one's another crazy one.
Fuck yeah, good.
That was another crazy one.
All right, good. Fuck yeah.
That was another crazy one.
Good
where,
shit.
Like, yeah, I think she
stuff.
like it's more just like her, but from like a different perspective. Not like a different perspective, but like her just grown up. Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
You know,
it's the evolution.
It's the evolution of SZA, like her bringing more of this of what she like can bring to the table, right? Because I think this album is definitely like very, traditional R&B, trap soul, neo soul, like things like that.
Yeah.
She does bring like boom bap-ish like elements to this as well in terms of like her beat selection. And like the next one I think is just more into like, okay, let me just show you more of like what I can fucking do. What I can fucking do.
I like it.
And dude, she's a good beat selector, bro. Like
comes up with the good, finds the good shit.
Like she knows how to pick a fucking, I'm gonna, because honestly there's not one bad fucking beat in this whole album, like at least for me, like I don't think, you know. And again, some of them are just like with 20 something, it's literally just a fucking guitar.
That's like all you need. Like that's what's, but that's also still a beat. That's still it's still the rhythm, right, of things. And like that's what I like, is it's like it reminds me of a time when it was just less about the hook aspect and more about like the music and the thing as a whole, rather than just, because again it's easy to get hooked on some shit that's catchy, and that's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing. Some of my favorite stuff ever is pop music, right? Like Michael Jackson is one of the greatest of all time, and a lot of, well, I won't say a lot, some of his songs are about some real shit, but like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough references fucking Star Wars.
Billie Jean.
That one's heavier. That's a bigger song. That's different. That fool's talking about says that I am the one. That's about Michael maybe fucking having a kid that he don't know about. That one's different.
But that's crazy, and that shit's so crazy.
And that shit is
just dancing to that shit,
bro.
just like this fool might have a fucking kid, bro. Hell yeah.
But the kid is not my son.
Hey, whoa.
Crazy, bro.
I don't know if you took a look at that kid. That fool's for sure not mine. That fool's for sure not mine.
What does he say? He's like fucking, show the photo for baby eyes. Or something. Fuck, I forgot how it goes. Show the photo for baby crying eyes were like mine. Like, holy shit.
Dude, fuck, bro.
Yeah, dude, insane.
Ugh.
But yeah, sorry, anyways, random side tangent. I honestly forgot what I was saying, but
Control. Go listen to it.
For real, too. Yeah, for real.
All right, man. Do you want to let the people know what we have going on fucking next week?
Yes, I am very excited about next week because as I told you when we were figuring out what we were going to do, this is some that I have wanted to do on the podcast in general for a while, but I've also just wanted to watch for myself. And as we know, the podcast is a good outlet for me to get myself to watch things, because I don't do that a lot on my own time. But we are finally, I think for the first time, right, going to talk about some Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
I think this is the first ones we've done before. Yeah.
100%. Studio
Ghibli, very, very famous animation studio. We've obviously talked about a lot of animation stuff here and there. I think the one that I brought to the table is Princess Mononoke, which I'm super excited about seeing, because a lot of my favorite things in recent years in behind the scenes stuff are inspired by it. So I'm super hyped about that. And then we're also going to talk about Spirited Away, which you've never seen before?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I've never seen either of these.
Oh, already. Either. Okay. Nope. I saw Princess Mononoke when I was a kid, but it really scared me. So I don't remember a lot of it. And so this will be like my first proper rewatch in like a very long time. But Spirited Away I did see again like a couple of years ago. It's super good though. Yeah. All of these movies are good.
Yeah, I've never watched either of them.
Cool.
I'm ready, dude. Yeah. I'm hella ready.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I want to also see, I don't think it's in theaters anymore, but at some point or another, we also got to talk about Boy and the Heron.
Oh, 100%.
Because that won awards and stuff, I think, at like all of the fucking...
That'll probably be streaming on like Crunchyroll or something like
that's
that.
true.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's going to be fun. Just with, everything that happened a couple of weeks ago and like the passing of Akira Toriyama and stuff like that. And just everything in the last few months in general, I have like started to reconnect with like my likes and stuff that come from like Eastern culture and Japanese stuff. So I think it's going to just be fun to bring it to the podcast and talk about it as well. Because, we've talked about anime stuff a lot here and there, so it's obviously we're fanboys of that shit. And this is some of the highest quality movie animation stuff, I think, for sure. Yeah. So I'm excited. It's going to be good.
Hell yeah. We're going to watch that. We'll have our weeklies as well.
Yes.
We'll have Invincible. We'll have Shogun.
I was going to say episode 2, episode 6.
Episode 6.
And episode 6 of Shogun. We planned that.
We'll also have X-Men 97
next week
as well.
Oh, shit.
Hell
bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell
yeah.
But yeah, guys, that was episode number 94.
Crazy.
You know where to go and find us: Instagram, YouTube, all that shit. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, 2i4TV, TOOHIGH4TV. And you know, motherfuckers, if you've been listening, it's a number 4.
Number 4.
Don't spell it out.
The symbol.
Don't put FOUR. Don't
Never.
put FORE.
Nope.
Don't even put FOR. I'll get freaking hella pissed if you do that.
And he likes
Too
golf
high.
too.
I do. It's too high for
4.
TV. I was one of your hosts, Ryan.
I was your other host, Daniel.
And we are motherfucking out of here.
Bye-bye.